All right. So let's just start. Let's just go in right now. So here we are. It's just, of course, this is the first episode. This definitely is the first time we're trying to do this. So, but
It hasn't been a year in the
so
making or nothing
yeah,
like that.
it's no. We're spontaneous. We're just throwing this together.
We just woke up and said, let's get after it.
Yeah. But so, all right. Welcome everybody. First episode of I don't know. We'll figure out a name on it, but right now this is going to be on the Planet Willow, and we're just wanting to know right now, getting everything together. Introductions. My name is Willow, otherwise known as they call Nate. Let
My name
yourself
is
be known.
Nate, also known as Nate, formerly known as Nate, currently known as Nate.
It's a lot. They're trying to. He's always trying to have to fight with all the other Nates out there. So. But yeah, so we're just hitting the ball rolling. Talking points today. I know we're gonna go over some stuff in like fandoms, our respective fandoms. I know I have things to get off my chest. What like any angry nerd has. Rock and roll it. But so pretty much hitting the ball, hitting the ground running. So what just happened this past weekend or this last week is Star Wars Celebration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's oh my god. So it's full circle. We'll come back to that, but so as you were saying, you just started watching fucking Mando season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching it. This last episode that came out, I think honestly,
because it's 6 episodes in, right?
Huh?
Is it 6 episodes in so far?
No, I think this is the 7th. Double check real fast. But
okay, I just made it to episode 3, so I'm a few episodes behind.
And it's so fucking sad too because like this one of I'm gonna try to get into, but like this is what's a little depressing about what's going down with Mando season 3 is that, like, dude, you could just clearly tell how the storytelling is gone. It's dog shit.
Well, you know that Jon Favreau was gonna leave because Kathleen Kennedy kept getting involved in changing his story, and he got.
Excuse me.
And so he said
allergies.
either let him do Mando season 3 his way and Ahsoka, or he was gonna walk. So more than likely they let him do Ahsoka his way without a lot of involvement. I'm hoping.
And this is why I'm like, I think it's like, fuck, man. As much as I want to be that hopeful nerd, for like personally, what killed it for me, like honestly, any enthusiasm, if I had it, which I honestly didn't, because from the get, this is my big problem with right now with the Mandoverse, right? So, okay, they brought in Filoni, the fucking George Lucas's Padawan, and they brought in Favreau, the guy who started the MCU, in phase 1, really helmed it. So they bring in these two guys.
He was with it till the end. He's had production credits on every single film. Even in Endgame, I think he was an executive producer on Endgame. So
What was that?
So even from the beginning to the end, he's had input. He's had like revisions and stuff like that. He's been the one that because people thought it was the guy from Buffy that got canceled.
Fucking
Whedon.
Yeah, Whedon.
But it was Jon Favreau who's been the one behind all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because I remember reading at a certain point, Favreau was in line to direct Avengers, but then there was like an issue, and Filoni at the time was like, no, like he wanted Whedon to do it because Whedon at the time had more of an experience of like ensemble, you know, able to helm multiple characters.
His version of Justice League was by far the worst anything I've ever seen.
Ever. Ever. And it's funny because like I totally get it. I like the Snyder verse. Like I like what he was doing with it. But at the same time, I get how it's like I get Snyder fans who are quote unquote toxic, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is like, okay, yeah, we have a fucking brooding Superman. But even Snyder was saying that like that was kind of leading to the more positive Superman, because after the events of the storyline that he had envisioned, sorry. After that, he what's it called? Well, I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, so after he fucking comes back, you know, that being resurrected. Okay.
All right, I think you're back. No picture though.
Yeah, I lost connection to my camera. I think the internet was like, you know what, dude? It's your face. That's the fucking problem. It's just too much. But let's see if I can edit avatar. This is just like terrible timing.
Are they having a Fortnite tournament again?
Well, no, because pretty much it's like everyone came home and they all just jumped on the internet at the same time. It's like, that's cool. That's cool.
You were using this? Psych, you thought.
Yeah. It's just like, oh my god. And I had so much bullshit to do this morning that I couldn't. Fuck that. Next time I'm just like, we're starting early. I'm gonna fucking call you at like 7 o'clock. But it's wild. It is wild. There we go. That's better. At least it's not that stupid faceless icon. But all right. Okay. 14 minutes into it. So far, only one major hiccup. So, but yeah, like, so what were we saying before?
We were on Justice League.
Oh, because like, yeah, like, so his whole thing was that like being resurrected was gonna be the catalyst to help become that hopeful Superman. And then I don't know how exactly true those notes and leaks were about the whole like Bruce having an affair with Lois while he was dead, so that then it's Bruce's illegitimate son, and Clark and Lois are going to raise him now, and he's going to be the son of Superman, and that's how you get the yeah, like essentially that's how they. Oh fuck! There was a note that I saw, and it was so quick on that feed. But essentially, that's how you would get the White Knight or something like that, like the son of Superman, but he's gonna be kind of more like Damian as personality wise, but he would have that like, because Superman would start instilling him that whole justice not vengeance kind of a thing, that mantra.
I think that
which
was a
personally,
Whedon thing because Snyder's vision, Superman. I mean, Lois Lane was going to be dead, obviously, and
yeah,
that was going to be his big thing of like why he basically went after the Justice League more so Batman, like the Injustice games. They were going to follow that more so than anything, which I kind of was hoping that would have taken place because that 4 hour cut to this day, it's by far the best superhero movie
absolutely.
I've ever seen. Like Batman versus Superman for me, and then the 4 hour cut of Justice League, by far the best superhero. Because it for me, a lot of people hate this. Ben Affleck is by far the best Batman.
He is.
Like best Bruce Wayne, best Batman, best
Yep.
suit, because that suit follows what is it, Tim Miller's Dark Knight story, right? That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. It
Or
follows the
Frank Miller, sorry.
Frank
No, yeah,
Miller,
yeah,
not
yeah,
Tim Miller.
yeah, yeah. And so the what a lot of people don't get is like all these year one Batman movies that we get, it's boring. Like the Christian Bale movies, I get it. They couldn't finish what they wanted because Heath Ledger passed away,
Yeah,
and I get that's what he was. After he was like, okay, I'm just gonna do Dark Knight Rises, and then fuck it, I'm calling it, I'm leaving. But yeah, that wasn't his original. He wanted to do 5 movies, right? And he wasn't able
yeah.
to.
It was originally supposed to be 5. They were going to fucking because originally, in the Joel Schumacher, was it Batman and Robin, right?
Batman and Robin, and
Originally,
then Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Didn't he
yeah.
do both of
So
those?
then, so originally in the script that they had for Batman and Robin, it was going to be Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze, and
Mm-hmm.
then logistics fell through and all the bullshit aside, and then they ended up just getting fucking Arnold and
Nice to
fucking
meet you.
yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, hey Batman, chill. You know, like come on. So I love it though. I can't help it. But anyways, yeah. So they were gonna Nolan found that out, and then for his original five picture movie, he was gonna bring back Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze. One of the main villains was gonna be the Riddler, right? For
Mm-hmm.
like because essentially what we got with the Batman for Raw Bats and Bat Batman,
Mm-hmm.
fucking Twilight Batman.
That
Um,
movie was actually that's a year two Batman story. It actually wasn't bad.
it wasn't bad.
Just the Riddler, he happened to be this fat slob. That to me was like, so we're just putting a leather
Well,
mask
because like
on
it
him,
just
like
it's the only problem, the only issue that I had with the Batman is that you can easily when you rewatch it, and especially when you know the director's fucking policies and his political views, and when you know what the studio is trying to do at the time, like you can't help but watch that movie and see like, oh yeah, fucking Riddler, he's just an allegory or an analogy for
mm-hmm.
all the Reddit people, you know,
Right.
all the toxic fans that don't like what these new directors are changing, you know. We got to
Mm-hmm.
break down the system kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what fucking the Riddler ended up becoming, so much so that like that was the finale. It's Batman beating up a bunch of Redditors.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
that's pretty much it. It's just Batman beating up a bunch of fucking bulletin board people. Jeez, I just aged myself on that one.
It
And
was like
then
it's like the kids that we went to high school with. Those are like it's the kids that they wouldn't have survived in our era because
yeah,
our era was like it was like you had to be ruthless to survive, and if you weren't, you were gonna get basically it's a dog eat dog world. You were gonna be the little dog, and you didn't want that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fucking dude. It's so funny.
They're fucking ruthless to
Yeah,
each other, to even to the teachers, but even the teachers at that time, they were fucking ruthless to us. They would, you would tell a teacher something, they would tell you something right back. They didn't give a shit.
yeah.
And it's just like, but now it's like, because I work at a school and it's just like, it's a different, like, the sometimes I'll go to other classrooms and I'll drop stuff off to the teachers, and the kids will try to like make fun of me, and it's just like I look and I'm like, you don't want to,
Like, dude,
like,
don't you know? I had like, you could just easily turn around to that kid and be like, "Hey, I know that your mom's a fucking whore. You know that, right?" Like,
it's
or like,
like,
"Hey, I still talk to my dad. What about you?
it's
What's going on
like,
with you?"
because this one time the kid opens the door and he's like face to face to me, and I tell him like, I got the door, it's fine, like you can sit down. So the other kids in the class like, oh look, he's trying to kiss you, blah blah blah, and the kid that's saying it was like, dude, like at least I can walk up the stairs and not be out of breath. Like,
Nice,
you know what I mean? Where
nice.
it's like I looked at him and I was like, dude, at least I can walk up the stairs and not be out of breath. Like, you look like you just get up out of your seat and
Fucking
you're out of
cracking
breath.
sweats and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was like this kid was like really dark skinned too. So it's like you look like you should spend more time indoors than you do outdoors. And the interesting part is you probably only spend your time indoors and you still look like that. And so like I looked over to the teacher and I was like, out of like respect for her because it's her class, I'm not gonna say nothing to none of these kids. But it's just like I was just looking, I'm like, you guys, it's like, dude, at least I don't have a bedtime. Like I don't have at least I don't have to ask my parents for money. Oh, can you buy me this? It's like you guys, yeah, you guys are cracking jokes, but like I'll I'll fucking make you guys cry right now. Like I honestly don't give a shit. But then I was like, I don't want it. You can't tell kids like that. These days, you can't say anything like that. So I was like, I didn't say anything. But
And that's where it's like I'm like fucking Arnold in Terminator 2. You can't talk to kids like that. Why? No, because you can't talk to people like that. You can't shaming anymore. Why? Because you just can't. All right? Nope. Doesn't comprehend. I don't.
yeah, so like the kids are like they kept like trying to crack jokes, and I was just like, man, I wish I worked in this classroom with this teacher because like I fucking like the poor teacher. Like she's such a nice like person, and the kids in her class are fucking loud. They're screaming, they're laughing while she's trying to talk. And I felt bad. I'm like, man, poor teacher. Like if I worked in this class with her, like be fucking making them cry every day. If they want to go to the principal, fine. Yeah, I'll go to the principal and, oh, you told them something? I sure did because they were mouthing off to the teacher instead of working. It's like, come
Yeah.
on. Where it's like, there's just a lady that works there. Her kid goes there. Her kid is a fucking like a terrible little fucking shit. Like that kid has made the teacher pulls him out of class at least once a week to talk to the kid, and the poor teacher, that kid has made her cry before, and it's just like sometimes I tell her like I want to tell her like, dude, he's a fucking second grader. Don't let this little shit make you cry. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he's like a second, third grader, and it's just like, but the mom that works here, you can't tell her anything because right away, because she's the same way. Like when she takes care of the kids, all she's doing is sitting down, screaming at them, and I'll be like, yeah, because that works, right? Like that's the gold standard, right? That's what's gonna make a difference. So it's like she's the kind of person, if you tell her something, she'll turn around and say, oh, maybe you're the problem, not my kid. So then it's just like, well, you're basically talking to a brick wall because you can't tell her anything, you can't tell her kid anything. And I like the teacher, like I'll see her, I'm like, man, this poor teacher, like she's just trying to work. She obviously she loves this, but she's just trying to come to school to work and do her job and go home. And I'm like, this little fucking second grader's making her cry, and I was like, she fucking, don't stand for that.
Yeah. No, like shit like this.
Not even have a finger on it, and you're still gonna complain. That's all you ever do is complain. You're even worse than Mr. Kid.
As it goes, how do I tell him? You're trying to the nicest teacher I am. Let's go.
Anyway, motherfucker.
Shut up, Scott.
And you, Mr. Cunningham, are stupid.
Oh yeah, I recorded that.
And there's like, it gets to the one where it's this one kid just yelling in his face, and then excuse me. Yeah, there's one where it's like this one kid's yelling in the teacher's face, and the kid just straight out like.
Oh, I know. You're a big collective. How confident you are.
Jacob, you're proving her point. You're being so uneducated about the issue that's clearly at hand. Please stop.
So ignorant.
Respect everybody in this classroom and keep your opinions to yourself, please.
Oh, so just shut up and take it to the side.
Not take it. Be respectful. It's different.
Oh, so
Please, we all have our opinions on all the
is
controversial
it
issues.
not
Stop.
disrespectful to show a biased video and shame students who disagree?
Is it biased? It's true.
What's this kid? What's this teacher? Fine, baby, I want to be in my room. Let's the best trick one. No!
Yeah, this one.
Mommy and show her.
And so I totally understand those fucking, like, remember, man, we would never, dude, never be able to fucking mouth off to the people in Wilson that way. Remember Mr. Kwan? I remember one day. Huh?
Mr. Sasaki, my fucking arch nemesis. That's where my villain origin started, in this classroom.
Was that the name of that teacher in the bungalow?
Isusaki was the teacher in the main building on the third floor or fourth floor. He was the one that used to ride his bicycle to school. He was the one. He was government and econ. I think you had him for fourth period, maybe. You had him.
Oh,
I think
okay, glasses, right?
Glasses, dark hair. He would comb his hair back. He was the one that would just tell you, like, he would literally call you a fucking idiot and to your face. He would laugh at you. Like, you don't remember? It's the teacher that me and him would always get into it.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I think one day you sat in the class and like that's all we did in that class. Me and him, like, we would just get into it. Like, he would tell me shit and I was like, all right, just remember you asked for this. And so
Yeah. Okay. You fired the first shot. You know?
So, yeah, you don't remember? I think one day you sat in there and even you were surprised, like, yeah, you were right. Like, we didn't work because you guys were just going at it the whole period. And I was just like, well, I mean, I try to show up and do my work, and then he starts to mouth off, and it's just like, well, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, mister, yeah, keep going. Like, yay, good one. Yeah, he was a government and econ teacher senior year. and me and him we would go at it, like we would all period long for a whole hour, just go at it.
Yeah.
He was the one that he ended up leaving because when we were seniors, some girl went up to him and said, "Hey, what's my grade?" And he laughed in her face, and he said, "You have failed because you never show up." So she turned around and filed a sexual harassment claim on him. Remember? And then the principal that looked like a frog, the short fat dude, already he didn't like Isusaki, so Isusaki just left. If you remember, he left like right after senior year.
Yeah, I remember hearing about the allegation charge.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who it was that was fucking ripping on it. It's like, yeah, what a crazy bitch. Because it was like, I mean, regardless of you know how you feel about him and stuff, it's like, damn. You know, like, hey, what's my grades? A fail, because you weren't here the year. Oh, okay. He touched me.
Yeah, that's how, like, he literally laughed in her face and he was like, "What grade?" She's like, "Oh, but I'm a senior, like I need to graduate." And he laughed and then he was like, "Well, you're not graduating." He's like, "You have a fail." And she's like, "Oh, but you can't fail me, blah blah blah." And that's when he was like, "You don't show up, like you don't have any work. What am I supposed to submit?" And then she turned around and so I don't know if he retired completely or if he went to another school, but yeah,
he was
he ended
just
up leaving.
Yeah.
He's like, "I did my time. I'm out of here." But yeah, it was
like, what was the name of that one teacher that, remember, we essentially busted that sting on him with Heather? It was like it was either the geometry class or but it was like right there, the extended ones in the bungalows.
the F bungalows by the in between the two fields or whatever.
Fucking, we called them I called them discount Jaime Escalante.
De la Riva?
Huh?
De la Riva.
De la Riva, yeah. Right.
Well, no, I was always like, yes.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
The one that was like, he had been in trouble because he would always fail seniors, and it got to the point where he was on the shit list. So he couldn't fail seniors no matter what. And so I had a C in his class, and he said, if you take the final, regardless of what you get on the final, you'll get a B. If you don't take the final, you get a D. And then we just went to go play in our game room.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like, so I got a D, right? Yeah. So I graduate, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye. Oh, so you're not going to take your final? I said, I am not taking my final. You already said I'm going to get a D and I'm going to graduate, and that's good enough for me. So see ya.
Yep. You're like, I just need to get out. You know, like,
I was like, I just need that D. And I'm like, you already said I'm going to get a D. I'll pass. I can graduate. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Because it's like, what's the point? Because then I do the test and I do the effort, but you're going to give me a B regardless, so that so that everything balances out. Like, yeah, up yours, dude.
And then we just left to our game room, and we just stood there.
Yeah, that's fucking. That's so crazy. What's it called? Yeah, we kind of, all right. Nice. We kind of just caught up on everything, just catching up on that kind of stuff.
No, because we were talking about like kids these days, and we were talking about the Batman and how the villains.
Yeah.
And then they was like, yeah.
And it's because like that was one of the things that fucking bothered me though with the Batman, because it kind of showed like, okay, first of all, I get it. Oh, it's this Batman's second year of doing Batman stuff, but it's the little things like him being afraid of heights, like when he runs up to the building and he goes, oh, You know, he does that little halt. You're like, no, that's out of character. And then when he biffs it, you're like, why would you do that? Why would you show Batman just fucking nailing the bridge? You know what I mean?
When he hits the bus and stuff.
When he hits the bus and yeah, you're like, no, I don't.
It's like, wait, so you spend all year one, you never climbed a building in year one? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Is that what you're implying? That this is the first time he's doing it? That doesn't really add up.
This is Gotham. Like, there's buildings everywhere. The buildings have buildings
everywhere.
Like,
they showed that. That's what I liked about. I fucking, again, I have my issues with the trilogy, but like that's what I liked about Batman Begins. They show that like he's trying to do parkour, you know, but he's like, oh, because I can't always nail it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like, but you spend all year one just on the ground, or maybe hoping that your bad guy would turn himself in, or I don't, like, you don't have.
Yeah, so then what's the point of the cape?
So it's like you don't have a bat plane at the moment. Like, you didn't build one all of year one, or like. And
then that would make sense. Like, oh, okay, he's spending all of year one building the bat plane, the bat wing, so that's why I built a glider into my fucking cape. That's the whole reason why I have a cape.
Right.
You know. So it's, I don't know.
See the Flash. I'm looking forward to it, but I was, but now that they revealed Ben Affleck's only in it for like 5 minutes, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I could.
Yeah, he's only going to be in there for like 5 minutes. He's announced how he's like, oh yeah, James Gunn is full of shit. I'm not coming back to direct anything, you know. And then. What's the next thing? And then just the fucking, you're like, oh, what's the whole point of the Flashpoint? You fire Henry Cavill, but you keep that fucking weirdo. Like,
yeah, all the show he's been getting into.
Like, that's just, I don't know how you're gonna fucking fix this, man. Like, you know.
Well,
and then you come out with that insane. What happened?
Because a lot of the people that have screened it, a lot of the executives are actually praising the movie, so that's why they kept them on.
But I mean, that doesn't fix anything. I like how a lot of people were like, "Look, man, you just throw Grant Gustin whatever he needs, and you just explain, oh, the Flashpoint and the Speed Force changed my face. Now I'm this Barry Allen." Okay, you know, like. That would have been, I would have accepted that so much more. And then you have that just fucking nonsensical video that James Gunn comes out. He's like, this is our 10-year plan. We're going to come out with the fucking, the Authority before we're even going to come out with a Justice League or a Justice Society movie. Oh, we're going to come out with another Suicide Squad-esque thing with the Monster Island or whatever the hell that was. And I get it, because, you know, you have some of those B, C tier characters from like the Golden Age and the Silver Age, which actually, frankly, I kind of like those more because I grew up on those. I didn't get into, like, you know, all this, the newer shit. I didn't start reading that until mid high school. You know what I mean? And even then, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why'd they kill off Ted Kord? Who the fuck is Jaime Reyes? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the new Batman.
Just,
Batman the Brave and the Bold, that's going to be his... that's going to be the one with Damian.
Yeah, like, okay, so we're doing Damian Wayne Robin. Fuck Dick Grayson. Fuck, you know, fuck Todd, Jason Todd. Fuck them. We're not doing them. Those are the fans like those guys, so we're not doing those. We're gonna do Damian Wayne, right? Because he's the Robin right now in comics, and it matters of what we're doing right now in the comics. And you're like, yeah, but your right now comic runs are fucking terrible. No one's reading them. So
They're doing,
and I was just like,
Something.
I don't know.
They're doing the Lanterns, Paradise Lost, Supergirl, Woman
And
of Tomorrow.
like the Green Lantern show or whatever, if they even still do that, that Hal Jordan's gonna take a back seat to the story. You're like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know what to do. Like you want. It's like they say, like how Gary from Nerdrotics says. It's like, yeah, you bought all these franchises that have established fan bases, but then you're like, all right, cool, we have this now. But so fuck you. Like all the fans that built the fan base and this P, this is not for you. We're gonna change this into something to make it all inclusive, or to shit on white people, and to bring in all these new this new fan base, this new audience that has no money for comic books, don't give a shit about comic books, don't fucking watch any pop culture shit. They're just angry. So they're gonna hate this anyways. They're not even gonna go watch it. So it's so funny. That's why you have idiots like John Leguizamo. I'm boycotting the Super Mario Bros. Movie because it's not inclusive enough for me. Oh yeah, you want some more fucking sauce?
Dude, you're not even Italian yourself. I don't.
Yeah,
you know what I
like
mean?
you're not even Italian yourself, you ass. And also remember that movie that you were in? Everyone, including you, fucking hated it. So why do you want to associate yourself with something? Also, Nintendo, since day one of that movie coming out, has been trying to disassociate themselves with that shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the production design of it all. Mad Max meets Super Mario. Yeah, my dumbass would like it, and I did. But then at the same time, I fucking hated it,
I mean, that's what we had. That's all we had to watch at that time. So it's like,
That's all we had, because again, this was during then the studios didn't trust that. So they were like, we're gonna take a risk. It was bad, so then they canceled it. Now it's like, oh no, we're gonna double down on the risk taking that we know didn't work back then. Changing an established IP not for the fandom that we took the IP from. Explain that. You're gonna have to explain that algebra to me, man.
it's like
that's
Star Wars.
wonky math. That's Star Wars in a nutshell. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why, dude, like I got so mad watching the Ahsoka trailer. Okay, so like I said, first off, I know we're like bouncing around everywhere right now, but like first off, dude, I don't like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka because it's bullshit. Literally, so far, everyone that's voiced their did the voice for anything in Clone Wars or Rebels.
She did the voice.
Has come back. Huh?
She did the voice of Ahsoka in Clone Wars. That was her.
Rosario?
Yeah. She's doing the voice.
No, for
yeah.
Hold on. Breaking up. What were you saying?
She did the voice for Clone Wars. Let me see.
No, because it's Ashley. What's her name? Not Johnson. No, it's like I always confuse her for Ashley Tisdale. Ashley Eckstein. Yeah, Ashley Eckstein is the original voice actress for Ahsoka, and fucking Filoni has brought in damn near everyone to play their own fucking to play their own character again as live action, except for her, because Jon Favreau's friends with fucking Rosario Dawson's social circle. So that's why they brought in Rosario Dawson. but then you're gonna shit on on Ashley Eckstein, but then fucking what's her name? Chick that plays Bo-Katan Creed, and I like her. I like come on, internet, hurry up. Katie Sackhoff. I like Katie Sackhoff, and I like her as Bo-Katan Kryze, but at the same time, you're like, okay, why didn't you bring back Ashley Eckstein? Also, Ashley Eckstein knows how to do the Ahsoka voice. This is my main problem with people bringing in big names like Rosario Dawson. Dude, the fucking trailer is so bad because everyone speaks their thing so monotone. It's just like this one line, one delivery. Everything is important. Oh no, Thrawn is coming because he's the heir to the Empire. Remember that book, nerds? And you're like, dude, I couldn't help. I know for a fact that pissed my neighbors off because I saw that trailer. Because that trailer dropped at like 4:00 in the morning here or something like that, and I'm watching it, and like an idiot, I'm watching it with my headphones on, and then she says that stupid line. Oh, and then the heir to the Empire. I was like, get fucked. I was so mad. Because it's so stupid. You're like, oh, dude, way to go. Just way to alienate even more people that you try to bring in with all this good faith. Because it's not going to work. I wore out my fucking Heir to the Empire novels. I had to get a whole new ones in fucking high school. And it's just like ridiculous when you see that. You're like, oh, yeah, because that's what I want. I want to watch Heir to the Empire, but with fucking Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren. And fucking Mando, because they're gonna squeeze him in there somehow. I know that, like somehow, especially now because Pedro Pascal is just a voice actor. You know what I mean? To the point where it'll come out. I guarantee you. I can't find the. But this is just speculation on my part. But because they've already proven that they're doing AI voice acting and that they've had voices licensed out to them, like now they have a whole library of voices. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it turns out that like, oh yeah, all of Pedro Pascal's lines for season 3 and henceforth here, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to sound fucking smart. But from this point on,
unhappy after season 2 or during season 2 that he didn't want to.
Oh yeah, this is what's so funny. It's like, this is what's so funny. Season 1, they pitched the idea to him. You're gonna be this Mandalorian warrior who's like essentially super religious about the whole fucking thing. You're not gonna take off your helmet because it's gonna be like Dread. It's like Star Wars meets Dread. That's your character. You're going to be this hardcore Mandalorian that'll essentially make you the Mandalorian. You're going to retake that title so that you unite everybody. But you're going to do that under the guise of, yeah, you never show your face. Maybe we sprinkle it here and there for really emotional, aspects for the show. But all in all, no, you're not going to show your face a lot. In season 1, he was totally down for it. Then season 2, production starts for season 2, and he starts like, hey, is there any more way we can do another helmetless scene? Hey, can I take my helmet off again? They're like, well, no, because that's not what your character's about. And then he starts threatening to leave. He fucking throws Gina Carano under the fucking bus. You know what I mean? So then at a certain point, they were like, all right, fine. If you don't want to stay here, you can leave. So they wrote in Boba Fett. Then they wrote in Bo-Katan Kryze. We got to write in all these other Mandalorian characters because, Pedro might not be around anymore to make him the Mandalorian. So much so to the point where I saw a fucking leaked image that like one of the potential title cards for the Mandalorian season 3 was just going to be the Mandalorian, but it was the Mythosaur skull, which means like, oh, okay, so it's not Din Djarin anymore on the cover. it's just the mythosaur skull, which means now at this point anyone can be the Mandalorian,
Right.
but
'Cause
except
that's
for
their
except
symbol.
yeah, exactly. It's like that. It's the Mandalorian symbol, so any Mandalorian technically can embrace that symbol. That's why fucking Boba Fett has it, because he was raised by Jango Fett, who came from fucking like that one adjunct. It was like a splinter group of essentially what becomes the Death Watch,
Mhm.
and that dude was like a hardcore Mandalorian, from an actual Mandalorian tribe that got expelled. They were like the first Mandalorian tribes to start getting expelled from Mandalore because Mandalore is changing its ways. We're not the warriors anymore. We're the peacekeeper. We're the peaceful people. We're not going to be political pacifists and stuff like that. And that's why that bitch got ran through by the Darksaber. I'm just saying. But if you were at least wearing some Beskar on that shit,
That would have happened.
Obi-Wan would have had a chance. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so funny. So then you have that good faith and that goodwill all gone. You know what I mean? And you're gonna make I guarantee you, yeah, the Mandalorian is no. So this is sorry, I'm scatterbrained right now. So then, yeah, the Mandalorian season 2, he started all their problems. So then in season 3, they pretty much just told him, hey, look, you know what? We'll bring you in when we need you to do the face thing, but you're pretty much just going to do voice acting for right now. And so we can stick true to the character. And you can have your little romp in The Last of Us for however long that's going to last. Fucking Joel in 1 is coming season 2, so...
I think if it sticks to the games, which I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't played the games or seen it, but season 2 might.
Oh, it's so funny.
The last.
And how much do you want to bet they're gonna hire watch the from Mandalorian season 3, the one that's with Dr. Pershing? They're gonna get her to play what's her name? Ellie. Not
no,
Ellie.
They said they're not gonna get rid of her.
Yeah, they already said that they're not, right? That's her name, Ellie?
Yeah. They said they're not gonna get rid of her. That they're gonna she's gonna keep playing the role. So, because the
no, not Ellie. What am I talking about? I'm talking. What's the name of the girl? The name of the chick that fucking kills Joel. Spoiler alert.
Oh, Abby.
Abby. Yeah, Abby Smash.
Well, you just spoiled season 2 for everyone. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, so yeah. Spoiler alert. Last of Us season 2 on HBO. It's gonna be the Abby show.
I mean, honestly, when you play the game, you get a better understanding of her motive, and because from like Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2 I platinumed those games on PlayStation. I had to, but when you play the second one, you get a better understanding of her point of view. Yeah. And like you get a better understanding where even when you play the game and you experience the story, how she has a change of heart and she feels remorseful and regretful for what she did. Whereas Ellie, on the other hand, I finished the game and I was like, good. She deserved everything that she got. And I was like, maybe she deserved a bit more. I don't know. But playing the game, when I finished Part 2, I felt like more. I felt more for Abby than I did for Ellie. And that I was like, man, Ellie can hold her breath underwater until she passes out, and I'd be okay. So if they follow that for season 2, it's gonna be interesting if they stick to that.
You mispronounced train wreck.
But if they follow that,
yeah. you mispronounced garbage fire.
As for anyone that hasn't, I would, my opinion, play the games. If you watch the show and you liked it, I would say play the games because you're going to enjoy that far more.
Build your own opinion by your own experience, and I'm all for that. Like, don't never just like take someone else's opinion and commentary, as fucking mantra. You know what I mean? And as holy doctrine, because that's when you start getting into echo chambers. You start following narratives, and that's a whole problem. And I don't like that. That's one of the issues right now with pop culture, is that we're getting closed off into all these little echo chambers and fucking and bubble topics, that can't hold their own weight. And the second you bring any logic to it, boop, it just pops.
Mm-hmm. Look
at what happened. Excuse me.
When I played The Last of Us 2 the first time, I was like, in the beginning, I was like, oh man, this is like the worst game I played because I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. And then as I continued to play it, I was like, man, this is like Last of Us 1 and 2. It was like, man, this is a reminder of why I started to play video games in the first place. Because they're just like, I was like, I paid for the game. I got to finish it. I got to see it through. So once I kept playing, it was like, oh man, this is actually a really well thought out, well put together body of work. And then as I continued to play it, it was like my point of view shifted. And when I finished, it was like, man, this was like an incredible experience, just because you thought this was going to happen, it didn't. This other thing happens, and you're like, oh man. And at the end of it, yeah, just with Allie, I was just like, man, like, what a fucking asshole. So let's see if they stick with that in the next season or the next two seasons, if whatever they make. They might split the next season.
And from what I read up on, he mentioned the creator. He mentioned how, like, oh yeah, they want to change some things that they did in the game,
Neil
and they'll fix,
Neil Druckmann or something like that.
Yeah, isn't that his name? Last of Us creator.
Yeah, Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann, yeah. That's what he said. He mentioned, I was like, yeah, they want to change some stuff that they didn't quite nail on the game, and they want to perfect it or, fix it or whatever for the show. And, if you have any hope, you know what I mean? Like, all right, maybe they won't do the Joel in 1. You know what I mean? And
I would want them to do Joel and his brother, like a prequel. I forgot the brother's name. Joel and I was gonna say Sam, but that's Uncharted. Well, Joel and
Tommy.
Yeah. So
Tommy Miller.
If they were to make like a season 3 or even The Last of Us Part 3, I would want it for it to be about either Joel and Tess, or how they became like smugglers, gun runners, and stuff like that, or about Joel and Tommy and the 10 years that they basically became who they were to survive. Like, I think that would be neat. Or spoiler, if they do make a 3, follow the path of the person from part 2. I don't want to.
Yeah. Like I don't want to jinx it or give it any weird energy.
Yeah. So follow the path of the person from part 2, and I don't mean Ellie, but yeah. Because it was satisfying when you finish the game. As messed up as it sounds, it was very satisfying to see what became of Ellie, what happened to her. It was like, oh man, yeah, fuck yeah. It was satisfying.
Yeah, like the fact that she no longer can, like, it's irrevocably changed her. The whole the journey, which I get it. That's the whole point of a journey, you know. I'm not gonna butcher the there's a guy Mahler on YouTube. Mahler has a really good breakdown of the problems with The Last of Us season, The Last of Us 2, and really how like a simple not tonal, like a simple. I'm gonna ruin it. I know I am, but like a simple like trajectory kind of twist on the story. You could have, you know, your cake and eat it too, but it's just the fact that not your cake and eat it too by being happy in the end of the story. I mean, like production wise, have your cake and eat it too by, you know, making your stories now focus more on these two female centric characters, and then you have Joel either respectfully exit the story or you have him become a martyr, you know, for Ellie. But yeah, you should check it out. Mahler's breakdown on it is on The Last of Us 2, and where it could have gone, and how like it could easily fix, and how you can easily avoid the, you know, the problems with the Last of Us, the controversy with The Last of Us, with The Last of Us 2, and just making it into The Last of Us season 2. But you just do one simple thing: you respect Joel's character. You know, just that's, you know, it's just one little thing. You know, you just have to respect the main character, or not the main character, but you know, a core character. Don't Jake Skywalker him, is what I'm saying.
It's a little late for that, but yeah,
I know. Yeah, and then there's that, yeah. Because then that was it. That's going back to the Mandalorian. That's why, because Pedro Pascal banked everything now on Joel's character in The Last of Us. Now he's just relegated to an AI voice actor in The Mandalorian, and maybe every once in a while they cameo him with his head. And then I was joking with my friend, and I'm like, I guarantee you, and if you ever do see Pedro Pascal's face on Mandalorian's body, on Mando's body, on Din Djarin's body in the show, he won't even be there on set. It'll be a head replacement. It'll be like he just went into a room and threw a smock on, and he's like, yeah, this is what I do now. I'm just a floating head on some Mando armor. This is the way. So it's just so, I hate to be.
It's like, can we get a head double for this shot, please?
For this shot, for anything for the back, it's gonna be on set for reals. But then when they cut around, it'll be this weird. You'll see it. Just watch the shadow on his neck. It'll be, if it's too, it'll be PS3 style fucking shading, you know.
Can we get a head double for this shot?
Yeah,
a stunt head.
It's stunt head. Yeah, that's what he's gonna start being relegated to, is stunt head.
So yeah, we get a stunt head in here.
Yeah, because you've only watched the first 3 episodes, right, of Mandalorian?
Mm-hmm. And then The Last of Us I haven't watched, only because I've played the games and I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, that didn't happen in the games. They didn't say that. And so I was like, so that doesn't happen. I'm not gonna watch Last of Us, but I also have no interest in it, because for me it's just like, just play the game. Just you'll have
but I'm talking about I'm sorry. No, I was talking about Mandalorian.
No, yeah, I said I've only watched the first 3 episodes, and that's when I said. But for Last of Us, I haven't seen it, and I don't have any interest in watching it.
Okay. Sorry, yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah, for Last of Us, I only saw like I think the first 2 episodes. If I could be honest with you, I vaguely remember because like all I see is the game.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the show does the same classic, well not yeah, but the same thing that everyone's doing right now. It's like, oh, we're gonna adapt a game into a show, or like a comic book into a movie, and instead of really trying to translate the characters that we fell in love with or at least liked and got drawn into in those other mediums, instead of respectfully translating them into movies and television, you just slapdash a screenshot. You're like, yeah, oh look, everyone liked this one scene from everyone liked this one panel from this Marvel comic, so we're just gonna do, as long as we have one shot in that movie that it could be that's comic books, right, nerds? Look at the thing.
Right.
Look at the thing, nerds. You know?
Look at the title. It's there.
Yeah. Like, see, right? Easter eggs. We heard you like those. You're like, that's not what an Easter egg is, you fucking twat. You know?
I'm like, no, it's there. Look at it.
But it's there. But it's there. Look.
It's like, no, look at the title. Isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that what you're into?
Oh man! And then I was ripping on my friend because he's trying to defend. Like he's like, no, dude. Indy 5's not going to be bad, you know. And I'm like, horrible. Dude, it's so bad they didn't even get. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. It's so bad.
Isn't Harrison all computer generated? Isn't that what they were?
Like mostly, yeah, because most of it, from what I've been told, it's not a lot of young Indy. It's going to be a lot of flashbacks. So all the stuff with young Indy in the flashbacks, it's all body doubles and deep faking technology. And then most of the action that old Indy is doing, it's just the body double with a face swap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he realistically, like, Harrison Ford is barely in it. It's going to be.
I thought he had burned his bridges with Disney. That I thought he had went off on them and said that he wasn't going to do anything for them anymore or with them. And
that's my theory. My theory is he did this one. He's doing Indy 5 so they can kill off Indy.
Right.
Like that's my big theory, is that's what's happening. Because look, okay, sorry, I'm old.
Yeah, but then he's gonna be like, "Hey, you guys have any work for me?" And they're gonna be like, "You get your old dusty self out of here."
So okay, look, they couldn't even get the font right. This is the font that they're using for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Well, great title, by the way, guys. That's the fucking.
It looks like the DuckTales font.
I was just showing you. It's the DuckTales font, man. It's not even. Look at it. It's not even Indiana Jones. It's not even Indiana Jones font.
Meme of like. It's that meme of, hey, can I copy your work? And like, yeah, just don't make it look exactly. It's the meme.
I love it. Oh my god, fuck it, you know. I'm having so much fun watching all this go down, I guess, because it's like, fuck it, right? Like, if all that work, because it's so funny, because it's, dude, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I mean? It's great. I love it. Oh my god. But no, it's one, like, how are you saying? Yeah, like the whole copy my work thing. They're so creatively and frankly morally bankrupt that
It's just
they
the thing
they're
is
just
like
they're stealing from themselves.
it's like the thing is they want creative people, but then they don't want to take that creative risk.
Yeah,
Like
they just want the name.
they
They
want
just want the name.
they want the good ideas, and then but that's it, and then they're gonna shit on your stuff afterwards, or it's like
Mm-hmm.
because I'd love to be in a writer's room. I think that would be for me like a goal, a dream. Like I've shown you the writing I have, but then to be in that position of like, okay, you're in the writer's room, but yeah, we're from 100% of the work that you submitted, we're gonna go with like 15%, 20%, 25%. So it's like they want that creative, but they're afraid to take the risk. And for some people, like Ryan Reynolds, for example, because him and his writing team that write Deadpool, they basically said, here's money, go write a movie, and they didn't really interfere with his process. Maybe Deadpool 3 is going to be different now that it's Disney, but at the same time, they've been saying like, oh,
yeah, dude.
They're saying we're not interfering with his process, but at the same time, it's like, like I guess that's something that we'll see when it comes out with this next year.
Oh, who knows? They postponed it again. I think they Marvel delayed fucking damn near everything that they had.
No. Because what happened is the CEO that was rehired, that just stepped down, his thing, the reason why a lot of Disney was successful under when he was running it is because he wanted less. So he wanted quality over quantity. And so now that he's stepped down again, they might just be like, fuck it, just put everything out again. Because the reason, like Phase 4, is honestly, like some stuff was really good. WandaVision, Loki, Moon Knight. Like some of the stuff was good. And some of the stuff was just like, why? Like Daredevil, Hawkeye was really good. And some of the stuff was just like, why? But it's because that CEO just was like, put everything fucking out. Just put it all out. Like, don't wait. Just whatever you have, put it out. And so that's why Phase 4 was like, And then this CEO came back and he was like, no, just do quality over quantity. But now that he's gone, it might go back to that of like, fuck it, just put everything out.
Yeah, and we're back to that. It's just what do they say? Consume more content. Product.
Mm-hmm.
Or season 1, I'll admit aesthetically was interesting. Same time, now like all that both that look and in fucking a lot of people hate, but I actually kind of look like is a Thor Dark World,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thor 2. I actually like that one, like way to waste.
Right. That was the one that people hated the most for some reason. I mean, I get the reason, but
Well, because at the time, just like put here so that it's a so we can introduce another Infinity Stone and everything, but I mean, I understood why, because we're building towards infinity. Well, at the time of the saga, but then you find out that like they still didn't have the rights fully for. There were still issues and legalities and stuff like that, so they quickly changed Infinity Saga Part 1 and 2 to Infinity War 1 and Infinity War
and
1 and
Endgame.
2, and then they changed that to Infinity War and Endgame, which is like Infinity War was great. Endgame had its problems. In the long run, you can't help but not look at it and be like, yeah, they kind of fucked up. You guys really fucked up on the whole. I understand why you did it, because fucking RDJ was definitely starting to age out of it, and then now that he's all vegan out and stuff, he has no muscle mass to even be able to hold up the shoulder pads that for the fucking armor. So I understand why you're like, yeah, okay, RDJ's out, so cast him like he did. Have him do the and I am Iron Man, and he does the snap, and then again, because comic books, it changed his face, he just something's different. And they're like, they did it with Brody. They
see that I think that they filmed so much stuff for it. I think that I like personally, I would have wanted like that 4-hour cut, even though studios are like, oh, people don't sit through that stuff. It's like, no, people, when it's well done, people will sit through it. If it's half put together, then yeah, people don't want to sit through it. But when it's the stories there, people want to sit through it. People want to experience it, because they had said that like the movie was like, I think 4.5 hours or somewhere along those lines, and they were like, oh, there's no way people are going to sit through this. And it's just like, no, it's not true. People that are fans of the material will sit through it. And it's just like, I get it. If you have a kid that's like 5 years old or 7 years old, okay, they're not going to sit through it because that's too much for them. And who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll enjoy it. But it's like, okay, someone that's like 90 is not going to sit through it. Like, first off, you probably shouldn't be at the theater at that age. I'm sorry, because if you're not going to sit through it, then you know what I mean. If you're going to come out and be like, oh, it was too long, it's like, yeah, it fucking. They told you it was going to be this long. I don't know why you showed up surprised. Like, but that's when they were like, oh, we cut out so much material that they cut out like the Doctor Strange in the Iron Man suit, and they cut out Iron Man with the Doctor Strange magic.
Oh yeah, they made him the Iron Mystic, no, the Iron Mage, and fucking
it was Doctor
Strange.
Strange. Yeah, it was Doctor Strange in the Iron Man suit, and then it was Iron Man with the Doctor Strange magic, like
with the cloak of levitation. Yeah,
they had all these great ideas, and they cut them out, and then you watch the movie, and you're kind of like, okay, like where's the rest of it? Like where's the like I get it, but like for me, it's like give me that 4-hour cut, that 4-hour, like, okay, Lord of the Rings. If you could sit through Lord of the Rings, and you enjoyed it, you could sit through Harry Potter and enjoy it. Like, okay, you could do the same thing for a Marvel movie, which has more action, has more flair, more spectacle. Like, you can sit through that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, don't tell me that, man. Come on. Exactly. Right. Don't tell me that there isn't an audience out there willing to sit through that kind of a thing. Look at Dune. You know what I mean? Like the original Dune, or at least the director's recut, right? Or yeah, look at the fucking extended versions of Lord of the Rings. I just rewatched that last night, all 3 of them. I played it. I just threw them on. You know. So next thing I know, I'm fucking still gets me every time. I don't care how fucking. I'm not gonna be all Kevin Smith about it, but every time that scene where Aragorn walks up to fucking, and I know I totally mispronounced it, but Aragorn walks up to the hobbits, you know, and they're about to kneel, and then they're about to bow, And fucking Aragorn's like, dude, you bow to no one. And then he bows and he kneels, and the entire fucking kingdom kneels to those 4 hobbits. I was like, it gets me choked up every time watching it, and I can't help but then break out into a laugh because you know that like fucking Merry and Pippin are like, yeah, fuck yeah, yeah, you fuck yes, yeah, fuck yes, you do. Yeah, like, fuck no, we don't. We don't bow to shit, you know. And it was like, and I kind of understand, you know. And then even then, like another example of how you change things for the right, but how also you can never really make something perfect is even people fucking gave flack to Peter Jackson at the time because they didn't do the burning of the Shire, they didn't have Tom Bombadil in it, and fucking I remember when people were freaking out because he had a beard, because Aragorn had a beard, you know. And because in the comic books, he's fucking a Dúnedain Ranger. He's a descendant of the fucking Númenóreans. They're like Atlanteans, dude. They're the Ubermen, right? So, I should probably be careful of like how I say certain Ubermen, you know. But, yeah. Oh yeah, it's just you know. But yeah, like you can never really truly make something perfect, but if you just bring respect to it, and like how Peter Jackson even said in that one clip, I love it, where he's like, no, we're going to stay faithful to Tolkien. We're not bringing ourselves into this because the reason why we love this is because this is Tolkien. This isn't us. We can identify, we can see ourselves in this somehow, but at the end of the day, this is Tolkien, you know. So fucking respect to the GOAT. Come on, man. But then that's why I fucking love how the numbers are finally out on the Amazon Rings of Power nonsense, and how they fucking totally lied, and how excuse me. Sorry. Didn't hit the mute button fast enough. I need to get my hotkeys ready. But yeah, how they totally lied about the viewership of that fucking show, and how that. And another thing too, what's really cool is that how that's like one of the few fandoms that actively fought back against a fucking villainization of an IP, you know.
But see, that's why I prefer video games as a storytelling medium, because like, okay, God of War, Ragnarok, and Last of Us Part 1 for like since they remade it for PS5, whatever. Those 2 games I played last year, and they gave me like an emotional cleanse, like that the whole year. Any music I listened to, any film I watched, anything on like Disney Plus, anything on HBO Max, like I enjoyed it, but I couldn't resonate with it. And then I played God of War, and I played Last of Us Part 1 remake, and it was just like, whoa. Like, that for me, it was just like when I played God of War, Ragnarok, like I had bought Pokemon, but I didn't play. I was like, I have to finish God of War. Like I have to platinum it. I have to finish the story. I have to, and like that story was, it just inside and out, top to bottom. That story was incredible. Last of Us Part 1, incredible, and it was like man, everything I had seen last year, whatever, it was cool. It was fun, but it didn't hit me like those two stories, which of all things were video games. And I know a lot of people like, oh, video games, blah, 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 it's stupid, there's no story. It's like, no, that's not true. Like a lot of great stories are told through video games for the fact that there is less, how can I say it? There's less hands in the kitchen where
narratively,
people tend not to, oh, it's a video game, blah, blah, blah. No, give it a chance. Like there are some games that are fucking dumb fun. Okay, I get it. And then there are some games that actually tell insane, amazing stories. Like after I finished Last of Us, I platinum it. After I finished God of War, it was kind of like, okay, what's like now to fill that void? Because all right, what's next? And I was playing Uncharted, but I had already played it, so like that game reminded me as I was seeing everything. I'm like, man, this is the reason. Like games like this are the reason why I started to play video games as a kid and why I continued to play them as I've gotten older. But just those two games, it was like, man, I need more stories like this. Like it isn't like a politically correct story. It isn't like if you think this way you're wrong. It was just a well thought out, put together story for God of War. Like I need more of that stuff.
Yeah, because like for God of War, that one is just a fucking story about a dad processing, his loss for his
No,
love
so
of his life, and
in the first one or
in
the
terms of being a dad, but like having to be
so in God of War
right from
2018,
not mistaken, huh?
God of War 2018, it's basically he's a stranger to his kid because he doesn't know his kid and the son doesn't know who he is, and so they were bound by this not just because they were father and son. They were like the mom basically was the glue that held them all together. The mom
Mhm.
passes away. Now you have this guy, Kratos, who now has this kid, Atreus, and they're basically trying to get
He'll
to know
always
each
be
other.
Boyd and
Yeah, boy. And so
Boyd.
you play the story and you realize that like Atreus has no connection to him. Kratos has no connection to Atreus. So they set off on this adventure basically as strangers. And throughout the story, they start to get to know each other. They start to like become, I guess, friends. And then you finish it, and it's a really like nice story. And then Ragnarok follows up on that, and then just nails like everything that was in the first game, but then they bring this story into it, and so yeah, it's like those things like the games like that people need to play, they need to give a chance to, they need to like give it a shot, just be open minded and just pay attention and like to the story and stuff like that, and you'll see that it's a very like it can get gut wrenching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I know that was it. I know I didn't play Ragnarok because I at that point I didn't have access to. That like for me, I agree with you on that one. It's like I do prefer especially at a certain point, I preferred games for storytelling, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then I'm also like mostly broke all the time. Like always trying to shoot like shorts and stuff like that, and I have an addiction to Legos and models. So,
My thing is
but,
I collect Pokemon games, so and it will mostly Switch games because their Switch games aren't heavy and they're easy to move around and stuff. So my thing is like Pokemon because it speaks to my inner child. Like even these last Pokemon games that came out, by far the best Pokemon game I would say that have come out, and I've been playing since the beginning, since Red and Blue. Like this story was actually like oh shit, it's a Pokemon game, but it's actually talking about like feelings and emotions and parents, and it was like you would never. It wasn't just another Pokemon game of oh you're the new kid. Okay, go do the thing. You know the thing. Go do it. Come back to me
Right.
when you finish doing the thing, whatever it is you're doing. This one was like the story was like was fucked up. It was a really like dark story for being a Pokemon game, and you're just like, oh shit, like this is
Scarlet, right?
Scarlet and Violet. Those are
Scarlet and Violet.
the last the new ones that came out. Even the stories, it's like one of the story paths. You fight against like mini bosses, but when you defeat them, it gives you their story. So they were kids at school that were bullied, they were treated wrong, and so they basically banded together to protect themselves and others from being bullied. Like that's one of the stories, and you're like, man, like this is what's in a Pokemon game, which like you wouldn't expect. Like another story is the kid, the mom is the professor is his mom, but he doesn't know her because she's never around. And as you play the story, you realize why she isn't around, and then it gets really like fucked up and whatever. And so, and then like the third story is like, yeah, you become champion or whatever. But even in that, like, there's a story to it. Like, so just playing those games by far the best Pokemon games that have come out.
Yeah, because fucking for me, I know I haven't played that one. Shit. I mean, like, I think the last one I played was I don't even remember, dude. I'm like blue, I think gold. I was like, but
Blue
yeah,
and
it was.
So the
I
first
did
one,
the. I know I fucking beat the. Well, I didn't fully beat it, but the N64 one, I played that one. I really like that one. That one's my when I think of like Pokemon games and arena
Pokemon
games.
Stadium.
The stadium, right? Yeah, that was
Mhm.
fucking awesome. But I know now that, like, yeah, I've been hearing that, like, yeah, dude, actually a lot of these Pokemon games are actually bringing in like story again, not again, but you know, like they're bringing in more
Mhm.
developed story. You know, you're not just like you said, you're not just some kid now, and then just like, oh, here you go, here's the world. Oh, you're of age. Go capture monsters. You know.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And one thing too, but for me, sorry, get back to my quick little point. But for me, what got me out of fucking games for like the longest, it was the fact that you buy these games and they're not done. Like I have to pay full
Mhm.
price for a game that's not done, and then maybe I'll get the rest of it later. Oh, sorry, the server we stopped supporting that game, you know. And then they're like, oh, we will continue to support the updates of that game, but not on your console though. You got to get the new console. Like, but what's
See,
wrong with this console? You got to get the new console. But
Mhm.
no, you're not. That's not an answer. And I get that's. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, technology. You got to keep up with it. So at a certain point, I literally I had to make the financial decision. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna stop buying models and Legos and toys. That's just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
So you know, like that's just not gonna happen. So I have to pick the hobby
You have to
slash.
pick your poison, basically.
Yeah, I gotta pick my poison pretty much. And it was like, is it gonna be fucking games and consoles and PCs, or is it gonna be fucking cameras and you know, cameras, lenses, and editing stuff?
Right.
I'm like, fuck, man. But I'm like, then at the end of the day, I really had to speak to myself, and I'm like, am I more of a visual artist that likes to create, you know, narrative stuff, or am I more of a gamer that is a commentator? And you know,
No, but
I
see,
chose the
even with games, if done in the right way, you could still create narratively. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Because I've been trying to get back into it because I would make guides specifically for Destiny 2, but what I would do is because I would see some of these guides and I'm like, I have more questions than I do answers after watching this big name on YouTube or whatever. But I get it, because for them it's a business. Here's a fucking video. Give me the clicks, give me the likes. All right, see you tomorrow when I make another fucking video. I get it. I understand the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I started to do guides where, like, my channel probably has like 70,000 views, and it's a channel that for a good year I worked on, like maybe 2, and then like I told you, I got sick, so I had to take a break, and because like I couldn't talk, and so I've been like, this week I was on spring break from work, and all I wanted to do was make videos, but I couldn't because I made the move from agency to full LAUSD employee, and so they were like, "Hey, you need a CPR." I was like, "Cool, I'm already CPR certified." I sent it to him like, "Oh no, this is a PDF. Like you have to send as a physical." I'm like, "I have that too." I sent him the physical. Oh, the guy's like, "Oh no, it's like this doesn't count because you took it online." I was just like, "Oh, dude, like it's fucking CPR, man." Like, and I like being the new guy, I can't say that because then it's just like, well, fuck this motherfucker. Like, he's not gonna work. Like, if he's gonna, be talking like that, like, we can just find someone else. And so it was like, all right. So he sends me a paper with 2 links. He's like, open the links, and they'll tell you where to go. One link didn't work. The other link, it's like, oh, these are the places and these are the prices. And it was like, dude, I'm not gonna pay $130 for first aid. Like, I have the money, but it's fucking CPR, man. Like, I'm not gonna pay $130. And so a bunch of places popped up, and I'm like, cool, I got it. This one costs $65. I'll do it. So Monday I was studying for it. I stopped, and then Tuesday I finished it. Wednesday I went to go pick up the dummies, the dolls, whatever. Thursday I took my test, which was via Zoom, even though they were like, do it in person. When you open the links, everything's online now, but whatever. So then Thursday I took my test. Friday I returned the dolls, and it was like just that. It was draining, just like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so like every day I was like, I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna get back to it. And so yesterday I rearranged my room, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a video. And then now that everything is moved, I'm like, great, this fucking jack doesn't work. Now I have to move everything again to get the good jacks in my room. But I've just been thinking like, man, like I wanna get back to it. Like I have better headsets now that I didn't have before, because before I was using whatever I had, and now I'm like, should I have fucking better headsets? And I can soundproof my room. Like I could just put a cardboard box behind me. I don't have to like get all technical with it. And so now,
it's funny because I have no problem with the whole concept of fake it till you make it. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Hell, fucking Star Trek season 1 with Kirk in the fucking 70s. The transporter was just glitter inside a water tube that they stirred up, and they chroma keyed that shit in, or so it's just old tricks are the best tricks. That's what I'm saying. Like go back to our original conversation that we were having before. It doesn't matter the equipment. It's the intention, the passion, and the drive. Yeah, exactly. Because you'll fucking do it. If you want to do it, you'll do it. You'll find a way to do it.
Yeah. And then now, we've been doing this. I was on my phone ordering a 50-foot Ethernet cable, because I have a 25-foot one, but I don't think that it's going to be enough. And so, like, even that, I'm like, fuck, I ordered it. Like, I got a fucking 50-foot Ethernet cable. I'm going to, like, fucking hardwire my shit. And I'm like, all right, like, now that I'm not attached to just one student, I could get home and work on it. Because I was a BII, so I was a 1-to-1. I don't know if you remember, Wilson, you would see, like, the special needs students, how they had a person with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was that. So I was assigned to one kid, and like every day it was just like I'm getting kicked on, I'm getting spit on, I'm getting scratched, I'm getting punched, some whatever, like in the beginning I enjoyed the challenge, and I got to the point where I had this like I left because my supervisor threw me under the bridge. Like he burned his bridges. He threw me under the bus. He burned his bridges with me because what happened is they had a meeting. He was not prepared for the meeting. I kept giving him information. This is what you're going to say in the meeting. This is what you're going to like. Basically saving him. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do. Blah blah blah. He didn't want to show up to the meeting. He shows up and that week of the meeting, I kept telling him, "Hey, you have a meeting. You have a meeting. You have a meeting." Oh, and no one told me anything, so I'm not going to show up, blah, blah, blah. All right, dude, whatever. You do you. The day of the meeting, so the day before the meeting, he calls me, oh, the kid's mom said I have a meeting, so I'm going to be there. Okay, whatever. Day of the meeting, he is unprepared. And to save himself, he throws me under the bus. He says that he wasn't prepared because I hadn't given him the information he needed, the proper information he needed. So what they do is they basically set me up. Oh, hey, your kid's gonna leave home early. Can you bring him down? And it was like, why are you specifically requesting for me to take him down? Once he's going home, like any aide from the class can take him. But you guys specifically requested for me to take him down. So I knew I'm like, okay, something's up. I get down there. Assistant principal's waiting for me. The principal's waiting for me. Oh, hey, we wanted to speak with you. Okay, like what's going on? So we just came out of the meeting, but we didn't go well because your supervisor didn't have the information because he said you haven't given him the information. What? Yeah, your supervisor said you haven't been giving him information that he needs. And that day, well, not just that day, but by chance, I had a paper in my hand. That paper I would fill out every day, Monday through Friday, and it would list my kid's behavior, how he did that day, like if he was aggressive, if he was good. I would put everything in that paper. I would always make 3 copies of that paper. My supervisor would get a paper. The assistant principal would get a paper. Um, the teacher would get a paper, and then the mom of the kid would get a paper. And I did this every week for 9 months, like since August. And so I told the principal, I said, I give him information every day, Monday through Friday, like, and he's like, okay, what about the assistant principal? I said, I have contact with her through this. I put one in her mailbox every day, and I give one to the teacher every day. One gets home sent to his mom every day. And so the principal looks over to my supervisor. Oh, is that true? Yeah. Okay, so you're not the problem. Oh well, we need to talk to the teacher then because she's not giving us information. So they ended up talking to her because he tried to throw her under the bus. So it was like when I would work with them, I'd come home and I would just knock out because I had no energy to do anything else because it's just like I'm just getting kicked every fucking day. I'm getting scratched. I'm getting punched. Or not even that, like just avoiding it, trying not to get kicked, scratched, punched, whatever. And like the last day I worked with them, Thursday, not this last Thursday, Thursday before, the first thing he did just kicks me below the waist. Like the first, like 10 minutes into class, just fucking kicks me. And that day it was like, I was about to come home because I was like, I'm over it. Like, and it was like, I get it. Like the pay was good, but at the same time, you shouldn't be in that situation of like, when you work, it shouldn't be that every day where you're like, fuck, I'm getting kicked every fucking day. I'm getting scratched, punched, like, it shouldn't be that. And so for that time, like I would come home and it's like, I want to play games to relax. It's like, okay, I would sit in front of my desk and I'm like, just dozing off because I'm fucking beat, literally. Like
Yeah. You're like I'm physically fucking exhausted. I have to put peroxide on my shit because
and then now it's just like, oh, I'm not attached to this kid anymore, so I could come home and like maybe make a video. And I've been thinking like, oh shit, like I can come home and after work, like work on it for 30 minutes, the next day work on it for 30 minutes, like, and just that thought has me like fucking excited, like, oh man, I can work on this again little by little. I could start getting it back up because I'm like, I'm not gonna be fucking beat. I'm not gonna, like, I don't have to work with this kid anymore.
Yeah. And not to make it sound like a bad thing, you know, but you're like, I shifted passions, you know what I mean? Because I'm more passionate about this than the being a punching bag.
Hold on, I'm gonna pick up my food. They're dropping it off right now.
All right, no problem. So, but to kind of get back on some of the track. While Nate takes care of his food, he'll be back in a minute. But that kind of goes to the point of what we're bringing in here is that the pop culture for ourselves is so important because pop culture, even though some people have a stigma to it, it's still culture. It's still our culture. It's a reflection and a representative essentially of what we are and where we are at the time. And this is the problem for me and for a lot of people. There's a whole movement right now online called the Iron Age, right? So, and that's happening for a reason. It's happening for a reason because they're tired. A lot of us are just tired. We're tired of being conned again. It's all that, we're tired of being conned and lied to, having our expectations subverted because allegedly that's a good thing. Don't necessarily think so. Like, it's good to be surprised, but it's also not good to be sold one thing and then be given a whole other pile of shit that you really didn't ask for. And that's why we have to we're in a little bit of a culture war right now. We really are. It's not a lie anymore, not to get political on it or anything, but it's like, yeah, I know this is gonna get dinged, but again, you have to stick to what you like, and not just what you like, but you have to stick to your guns and what you believe in. And I am fully ready to take up that mantle, you know what I mean, and to use sword and shield of creativity and being a advocate fan. And yeah, fuck it, a fan boy, a big giant fucking nerd and geek about all this shit. And we have to protect it. So it is a culture war. We are in a culture war. Sorry, it's just it was like it's that thing. He's back. But no, like I was saying, I was telling to the lovely people out there in the world that are watching this. I was saying that, like, yeah, we have to preserve, like, we have to protect our culture, right? Because yeah, it's pop culture, right? Games, movies, televisions, comic books, whatever. It's pop culture, but at the same time, it's still our culture, and our culture reflects really where we are and where we want to go, right? So that's why I like the quality over quantity. Not knocking people that make a bunch of content and are able to fucking spit it out there. I mean, look at Stephen King, dude. That guy used to write a book every fucking like 10 minutes, and it'd be a banger, But then you have someone like fucking J.R.R. Martin or J.R.R. Martin being like fucking, oh yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out.
Once every 10 years.
Once every 10 years, yeah. And he's the motherfucker's still not done. And and this is what's sad, that like that's one of those things where to kind of go off topic for a little bit, but like that's another example of where you have the content or the remaking or the translation outgrowing or outpacing the content, you know. So now they have to start filling things in. And for a second, Game of Thrones was actually bringing in stuff that was quasi original and was good, you know, or was working. And then when they just fucking blew past the books, they were like, fuck it. Dan and Dave were like, we're just gonna do it, you know. And then I had a whole skit that I wrote, but I haven't really been able to shoot yet. Yeah, like I have a whole joke about how like you can't not see it when you see it now and you know the shit. But yeah, dude, those two dudes totally scuttled, for my comedic opinion. They scuttled season 8 of Game of Thrones, right? Because they were like, you know, this is when Star Wars was new and people were like, there's hope, you know. So they come up to Dan and Dave. Disney's like, hey, you know, I hear you guys are really good showrunners. Well, too bad that, like, you know, you can't really work for us and do a show for us, because we also hear that you're big fans of Star Wars. Where we just would like to be able to, you know, have you guys work for us, but you're under contractual obligation to one of our rivals. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, you know, but if you were able to, you know, not be under contract with them, you know, you'd be able to handle one of our projects. Oh, well, good talking to you, Dan and Dave. You know, and they fucks off, and then Dan and Dave were like, did you hear what I heard? I heard, if we're not working for fucking HBO, maybe we can work for fucking Disney. And maybe they'll give us Knights of the Old Republic. That's why it's the whole like secret announcement. Oh, Dan and Dave might be doing a Knights of the Old Republic TV show, you know, vis-a-vis like fucking Game of Thrones. Oh, but so then maybe not. Dan and Dave did what they did with season 8 of Game of Thrones. Just get it fucking done. Somehow Daenerys loses her mind in 10 minutes versus like a storyline that should have been a couple years. You know, Varys is just fucking speed walking and fast traveling everywhere. And it just like that, and it's fucking crazy. And then HBO's like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna cut back. It's normally 10 episodes a season. We're gonna do, you know, 8. I might be giving 6 episodes.
I think it was 8.
But it was 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It's been so long, and I don't care anymore. I mean, even when, well, yeah. So yeah, they do what they did, you know, to get the fucking backlash was so immediate and so fucking pretty much, but in my personal opinion, it was pretty much justifiably visceral in certain aspects. Because they're like, what the fuck, dude? All these 10 years, right? Something like that. 10 years we invested into this fucking shit. And you just, we're going to throw it away because maybe we'll be able to get a fucking Knights of the Old Republic show. And then so they fucking do what they did with season 8. It goes to shit. You know, HBO's like, dumpster fire. And then Dan and Dave fucking skip their happy asses over to Disney. And then Mr. Mouse, being the fucking city castle that he is, what do you want? You know, they're like, well, we're not we're not under contract anymore with HBO. Oh yeah, we heard about that. So that's what you do, huh? This is what happens. you get a good offer, you just fuck off. To loyalty means nothing. You do, and you're like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? Like what's happening? Get the fuck out of our door. Like Mr. Mouse just does what he does, and they have to come back and in another show, Westworld. They have to cameo, pretty much talking shit about themselves when they're being the lab technicians with the dragon, and then they make that passing comment of like, yeah, whatever, just throw it. Who gives a fucking shit? You know what I mean? That was like them having to take the L. I feel like I truly feel that. And then, don't even get me. One that was good, sure. It should have just been season, but they tried to fucking milk more because again, it was starting to become diminishing with Max and all that, and they had to recoup that massive Game of Thrones season 8. So it's just funny. And then now that's the new big thing. Oh, Rian Johnson though, right? Rian Johnson's gonna get his trilogy anytime soon. Anytime soon. It's coming out. It's anytime soon. What the fuck is happening, Kathleen? Anytime soon. Anytime soon. We'll fix this. We'll fix this. It'll be good.
But see, The Last Jedi, it was like I watched it and it was like as I sat there, I'm like, what is this? Like, since when was Princess Leia Force sensitive? Because she, in the beginning,
and Mary Poppins, like when.
In the beginning, the ship gets blown up. Spoiler alert: you haven't seen it. Whatever, it's been out long enough. And then she saves herself because she's Force sensitive and blah blah blah. And it was like, when I get it, they're twins, but.
But Akbar can go fuck himself. He's gone. He's fucking dead because he was piloting the goddamn thing, right? Wasn't he one of the Mon Calamarians that were on there?
And it's like gone. When, like in the comics, it's different, but that's like expanded universe is kept separate from movies and shit, whatever. So it was like when in the movies, has it ever been discussed that Leia is Force sensitive? Like, we're just throwing that in, and surprise, she's Force sensitive. That's why she didn't die, because the Force, she saved herself, whatever. And it was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't have a lot of hope for the rest of this movie. I was like, right. And then Mark Hamill,
you're like
Obi-Wan's himself.
Somehow, and then and excuse me. Then the Resistance becomes the Rebellion, but there's only like 9 people, 10 people in the Rebellion now on the fucking Falcon, and oh, dude, so we're done, right? We're done now. It finished. I'm confused though, because isn't this the second part of a trilogy? But we're done. Like it's finished. We're done. Like just. It's done. Star Wars is it's finished. You capped off your story. It's gone. Like.
And then he didn't get his trilogy because of that.
Yep. Exactly. Because again, there's that.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's just all the meddling that was done to his film, to the story. It's not.
Was it? Well, see, this is the thing. This is where it's like I have to a little bit just disagree a little bit. Where it's like I think absolutely it was his fault, because one of Rian Johnson's is like, and it's out there. There's that clip. I'm not going to try to pull it up right now because I don't want the like the computer's like dragging as best as it can right now. But we'll find it. There's that clip of Rian Johnson old ass interview, where he's like, yeah, essentially in a nutshell, what I want in my life, his life goal is to be like, I want to be able to make a movie that half the audience hates and half the audience loves. And here's the problem with Rian Johnson, with Roundhead Johnson, is that he knew he didn't have. He's like, I don't really have the name, like the drive behind my name to really be able to make such a big impact on an audience. And then when they slapped fucking Star Wars in his lap because that lazy asshole Jar Jar Abrams fucked off because he doesn't know how to write, because he's just, it's the mystery box. It's the mystery box, right, people? You know, so excuse me. So then they slapped this movie in front of this asshole, and then he's like, you know it. The back of his head, it was like, do it. You know, the fucking emperor just do it. And then he couldn't help himself. So he fucking just did it. He's like, I'm gonna use this one. What bigger, better chance do I have as being like having this in the back of my head for the last, I don't know, fucking some odd years in his professional work where he wanted to do this. So he saw an opportunity. I mean, fuck, man, as an opportunist myself, fucking idiot. But as a, you know, like, I understand. So he did what he did. He did what, and he, you know, and he didn't give a fuck. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm out, you know. And then at the end of the day, he's like, I'll do a trilogy for Star Wars if you want me to, but it sounds like they don't want me to, so I don't really give a fuck, you know. Mm-hmm. I'll do my own shit. And then how's that working for him right now? I don't know. Who gives a fuck about his name? And, you know, he's like, so that's why I believe that, yeah, in many ways, no, the Last Jedi is totally fucking fault. You know, like, or parts of it. But it's not full blame. I will give him that. It's not full blame, because then you have fucking KK and you have Jar Jar Abrams also. You know, fucking KK comes in, they put her at the head of Lucasfilm and Disney Star Wars, and she couldn't help but be a bitter fucking coffee girl from the day. And she's like, I'm gonna destroy these people's work. These guys' legacy who helped me get up and stuff and bring me into the world and make a name for myself as a producer. I'm gonna fucking destroy their work. It's done. I'm out. I'm gonna set it all on fire. You know, Star Wars, Jake Skywalker. It's all about fucking Rey, another brunette, a woman in power brunette. Willow, fuck that little guy. It's all about a woman in power brunette. You know, fucking. Now they're doing it with Indiana Jones. Indy, fuck him. He can go to hell. It's all about another British brunette and fucking woman in power, you know? Boss bitch babe, right? Yeah. But no. So, okay. Fuck, you know, almost make me lose my point over here. But yeah, like, it's going back to that we gotta fight back, man. And that's why I fucking love the Tolkien fandom, dude. And like the Nerdrotics Fellowship and the Fellowship in general and all that shit, like, it's fucking, you know. Then you have like I was bringing it up before, then you have Young Rippa coming in with his shit, doing the Rippaverse, you know, because it's like, fuck comics, fuck what they're doing. If they're gonna be all politicized, ruined, beautifully classic, you know, it's antiquated, it's misogynistic, you know, okay, whatever. Start doing my own comics, and then you have Younger, and then you have this whole online movement, or not online movement, but this cultural war, fucking Iron Age, and I'm totally fucking supporting. They're like, hell yeah, you gotta support independent creators now. You know, I'm saving up so I can get my fucking PC rig back up and running, so I can start supporting indie games again. You know. Because this is fucking stupid. Like, I'm done with all this shit. I mean, good for Illumination, though. They're kicking ass with fucking Mario. You know what I mean? From what I'm hearing, that they surpassed their estimated gross. they're fucking killing. They're now the top holder for the top grossing animated movie and opening box weekends. They took away from fucking weekends. Sorry, they took it away from Frozen 2. You know, and it's great. Like I can't wait to fucking see it again. You know what I mean? Because yeah, especially because all the critics that we hate, all the fucking critics that we're like, fuck you, they all hate it because they're like, oh, it's just fan service. What is this? There's no story. It's just him being Mushroom Kingdom, and why is Bowser a simp? Like, well, you don't never play the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not for you. And then there are some like adults that play the game that even they are like, oh well, it's again, it's the Easter eggs and the respect and the imagery is there for you, but the story overall and the characterization, that's for the kids. That's so that the new generation can see this IP and then be like, oh, this is awesome, this is fun, this is entertaining. It comes from an old game, you say, Papa? Then I would love to be able to play that old game, Papa, with you, you know? And then now you have this new generation liking the older shit, perpetuating positive market sales and all that stuff, and keeping a cohesive fandom in order, and you know, keeping the culture positive and good and just fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, every once in a while you have a Paper Mario, you have a Mario Odyssey. You know what I mean? Still good in their own rights, but it's different. There's some people that didn't like it, but mostly it's usually because of game mechanics. You know what I mean? Anyone that is playing Mario for the story, why? It's a story made on a fever dream fueled by mushroom, by shrooming and acid dropping. So, excuse me, but yeah. so fucking just going back to that, like, no, that's why we gotta you know, support independent shit now. If you're not gonna respect what we brought as customers to this IP or to this fandom, if you're not gonna respect the hard-earned shit that we put in, the hours, dude, I remember the fucking day when they announced, oh yeah, Disney bought Star Wars. I was like, okay, well, they have the money to make movies and shit like that, and they have the capital to have a decent effects, and you saw what they were doing in tandem with fucking Pixar at the time, so you're like, all right, you know, they had at the time, they had the some of the best parks, you know, so I was like, okay, but then fucking Kathleen immediately said, no, we're not gonna do the books though. Everything except for the original trilogy and the prequel trilogies and the currently running Clone Wars series that we have to silently cancel and then bring back on Disney Channel because it was a comedy Cartoon Network production. That's why the animation had to change. That's why a lot of people didn't watch Rebels, because they were like, the animation's different. It was like, see, and then this is again conned again. This is my problem, because I was like, I actually liked Rebels because the story was good, even though the animation took a minute to get into. The animation, that's just a business thing. Like, you're like, it's because they couldn't use the original animated company, production company from that were doing Clone Wars for Cartoon Network. Okay, I get that. But then when she said, oh yeah, no, it's just the trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the fucking Clone Wars, that's the only thing that's canon. Everything else, like games, comic books, and the fucking EU, that's not canon anymore. It's Legends. It's Star Wars Legends. oh, great. And then I'm just looking at my fucking bookshelf, and I'm like, great. So all of that, not going to do any of that? That's a good sign. Like, oh, fun. That's going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I'm going to love it. And then, and then they brought in J.J. Abrams, and that was another, I was like, okay, maybe that'll be
because he was doing the Star Trek movies, the new ones, and then they were like, oh, let's have him do Star Wars. And
they're like, oh, look, he brought life back to Star Trek. Let's do the same for Star Wars. And then you realize a lot of fucking Star Trek people really didn't like his shit, and I understand narratively kinda like the explanation for why Starfleet in the Kelvin universe for Kirk's timeline is more militarized because of what happened with Nero's ship, the Naradu. I forget. Sorry, ship nerds. But my Romulan is a little rusty. Fucking acting like a patak over here, Klingon though. It's Word!
He was doing Star Trek, and then they loved his work, and they were like, maybe he could do Star Wars. And he did this to Star Wars.
Yeah, just like, yeah, let me just fucking get that in there right there. Hey, you like that? You like that? How about that? They do that. That's my mystery box, And then, man, because then I couldn't get past the jokes of like just fucking people are gonna go blind with all the lens flares that are in Star Trek. So then now you have Star Wars where there's lightsabers and blasters and shit like that. You're like, oh, dude, it's gonna lens flare everyone's heads off. And I like how one of the production notes where they told them, they're like, you gotta not too much. That was a much. We heard comments from Paramount, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Excuse me. Excuse me. But talk for 1 second.
I talk for 1 second.
If you need to bring anything up, I just gotta. If you want to bring up a talking point, if you had anything that you wanted to say on your mind, talk to the good people. I'll be right back. 1 second.
All right. This cat's crying. Star Wars Episode 3, by far, to this day, the best Star Wars. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, by far, best Star Wars. That original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones. Those are my top two for me. And then we'll throw in Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, Star Wars, it's not Rogue One. We'll throw Rogue One in there. Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Rogue One, Mando, Book of Boba Fett. For the Han Solo one, still haven't seen. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Rogue One. Those are my top for Star Wars picks. My top Star Wars picks.
Yeah, and I would agree on that. Again, even though I know that they're I know behind the scenes issues.
I'll throw in the Obi-Wan series in there as well. That one was actually that Obi-Wan. Yeah. No, you didn't.
No. Not there's like some visuals in it that I like, but I couldn't Reva's character, like I was like, and then way to not double down, like, you know, you showed the helicopter lightsaber in Rebels. I don't know why you didn't just double down. If you had doubled down, you had her doing the back kicking fucking Obi-Wan in the head and stuff. I would have been like, at least he's stuck to it. He's sticking to his own canon. But you can see that Filoni himself is now starting to kind of contradict his own canon that he brought in to try to fix Star Wars. So again, it's like, I hate to say it,
but again, it's not. There is outside interference. So
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, there is. KK, you know, like that's the biggest outside interference. Is this fucking? Oh, I was about to say something very bad, but yeah, no, this total knobhead. You know what I mean? Just fucking, just ruining things, just out of sheer spite. At this point, it's you can't not see it. Like she's gonna go down as the worst leader in business, you know what I mean, in history. She, like, they gave her a potentially $1 billion industry to just, all you got to do is just do Star Wars. Let Star Wars be Star Wars. You have an entire library of source material. Even if you don't want to even if you don't want to directly do Lucas's pitch for his trilogy, if you don't want to do that, there's so much. There's the Jedi New Academy, Heir to the Empire. There's so much. Fuck, man, if you were gonna do the Palpatine clone shit, there's a much better story arc that you could have pulled from from the DC comic, from the Dark Horse when it was Dark Horse Comics. You know what I mean? Like you do so much, but no, you clearly are showing what your intentions are. They're 100% spiteful. It's like the cat's out of the bag. But then the problem is that she's just, I don't know, man. She just has too much dirt on them or something. She's gonna leave when she's good and goddamn ready. She's not gonna get publicly fired. Not like how Gina Carano was, which is bullshit. Because that's just another thing. Can't help but show it. Like, I'm just being pragmatic and I'm too logical, and when it comes to certain things, it's like that just goes to show you Favreau, he's too much of a team player when it comes to executives and for top table, because he didn't back his girl Gina, you know, and then fucking Pedro threw her under the bus also. So it's like, that's why I was I scatteredly came back for season 2. There was, if I'm gonna be honest, the only real reason why I came back to season 2 is because they were like, okay, they're gonna finish off Carano's story, and then Bill Burr's back. So I was like, oh, okay, and I knew about the leak of Luke coming back, so I was interested in to see how they were gonna do that, especially when at the time Filoni and Favreau were like, no, we're gonna be super respectful, and it's not gonna lead to Jake Skywalker, you know. We're totally going to be respectful, and it's going to be Heir to the Empire, but with Luke. So, you know, it's terrible. And then it's just like, and it pretty much writes itself now, because like, no matter, like, you could in your head write the worst fan fiction that you can think of. No love, no knowledge of Star Wars. Just take names and do fan fiction in your head. That is most likely what's going to come out for Skeleton Crew, the Acolyte, Ahsoka, the fucking Rey movie that they just announced. You know what I mean? Oh, because there was no one that she could have pulled knowledge from, so she has to rebuild the Jedi Order. It's great. Yeah, that's fun. And then you see the pictures of the celebration, the pictures of the celebration fucking, what do you call it? The pictures of the shit that they were selling for Star Wars Celebration. It's just like even your merchandise. The one thing that Star Wars was doing well was their merchandise looks like shit. It's like Chewie in his Life Day robe, his big fucking moo, which is funny because now, like, especially like if you end up watching it, episode 6 of Mandalorian season 3, if you end up watching it, you'll understand why this statement is true now. You cannot, like, no one out there can rip on fucking the worst thing that's ever been associated with Mandalorian season 3 is like the fucking worst thing that Star Wars has produced. And that's like, and we're talking story wise, and really it's, well, no, because The Last Jedi and the fucking Rise of Skywalker, those were like, you lost so many people. Like that's why it's irrevocable. That's why I'm like, it's irredeemable. You know what I mean? And that I truly believe at this point, yeah, Star Wars is fucking, it's dead. You're watching necrophilia. You know, at this point, it's fucking bad, and you know now. They announced Rey. They announced a Rey movie. You know it's gonna be bad. Yeah, we're gonna make an Obi-Wan show, but it's not gonna be about Obi-Wan. It's gonna be about this chick Reva and baby Princess Leia. You're like, okay, wait a minute. No, the guy who dedicated the rest of his life and everything to protect Anakin's fucking kid, who like he's just gonna leave him. He's just gonna leave the planet now. All of a sudden, like, okay, no, you know what I mean? And it would have been a little different if it was like, say, I don't know. I hate to really like write shit for them, but like, what if it was actually some bounty hunters that it looked like it was random pirates that came and attacked the Lars home, you know, and then they took the boy, right? And they're like, oh, and Ben fucking hates, not Ben, Owen fucking hates Ben, you know, because he's like, I don't trust your whole order. You saw the evil happening in the galaxy, and you just let it fucking happen. You know what I mean? So he doesn't trust that lifestyle for Luke. But because Luke got fucking taken by these alleged pirates and shit, you have Obi-Wan now have to. But then this is the problem though. Now you have Obi-Wan quest fetching, and that's been the big fucking thing about Mandalorian. Ever since Mandalorian season 2, it's just been one big quest fetch after another. And at that point, you're excuse me. I have my water more handy here. There we go. And then at that point, this just goes to show you, going back to games also, and how game companies are now fucking full of shit. I'm starting to also see how Mandalorian season 1 and Book of Boba are essentially pieces left behind of what we were supposed to get with the James Mangold Boba Fett movie. Whereas like, just picture Mandalorian season 1, but instead of Mando, it's Boba Fett, and instead of Grogu, it's a Force-sensitive Tusken child. That's what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Right. And it was supposed to be a movie to just kind of set that up. But then that got canceled, and then they did Solo, and then that became shit on top of shit, and they had to bring in Ron Howard. Fix shit, I do work, so I'm just gonna flush it. You know, that's how I'll fix it. I'll just flush it. I'll throw some Febreze on it, and then because Solo, oh my god, Solo, talk about not knowing and or not giving a fuck about one of your titular characters, because everyone knows it, dude. Star Wars is Darth Vader, Luke, Leia, and Han with Chewie, and then you got the droids. You know what I mean? But it's mainly Darth Vader, Luke, Leia, Han Solo. And then you have Solo come out, and it just shits. It just shits on that man. You know what I mean? It's fucking. I was so upset with that movie.
I still haven't seen it.
If only to, like, don't give him the numbers. You know, maybe go watch it with your friend Captain Jack Sparrow. But you know, Blackbeard it. But yeah, don't give him the numbers to watch it on fucking D+. D+ these books, you know. I'm 12. but no, but then fucking you have all this shit coming out, so this is just no point. There's no redeeming it, you know what I mean? Like, you would have to fire everyone. And I mean, like, everyone, even to the point where, like, sorry people, but you would also have to fire Filoni and Favreau, because they've proven that they can't stick to their guns. And again, this goes into my theory, just because how I know they've already openly admitted it, that they're putting money into AI technology. So, and we know, dude, that, like, or at least, you know, most people out there that are into, like, script writing and shit like that, Favreau writes good movies, but he doesn't write good TV. He doesn't know how to write TV. He doesn't know how to write serialized stuff. You know what I mean? So I just have this sinking suspicion that Favreau wrote a general synopsis for the seasons, you know, especially after season 1, season 2 and 3, or season 2 and then what was season 3 supposed to be. He wrote a general synopsis, but then Kathleen Kennedy, again, fucking meddling. She ruined what Book of Boba Fett was supposed to be. That's why you have those 2 episodes of Mandalorian season 2.0 in there, which were like, that's like, those episodes, dude. Those episodes feel like they were supposed to be the two first episodes, except for the Luke and the Jedi Academy stuff. All the stuff on that Halo world, again, like, just stealing from other IPs and shit. That whole plot of, like, no, dude, you got to rebathe yourselves, and, you know, it was. I have this feeling that the synopsis for season 3 was supposed to be that, where, like, he's trying to redeem himself, and then you have Paz Vizsla being his fucking protagonist, because Giancarlo Esposito is fucking Moff Gideon. He's arrested and everything, you know. But because of Book of Boba and all that meddling, Favreau's like, man, you know what, dude? Like, I don't fucking need this. I was just doing Filoni a favor because Baby Boy doesn't really know how to fucking back himself out of a corner. So I was just trying to help him out, you know. But at the same time, I don't need this, dude. I can take my money that I got from Chef and just make another fucking small time movie and lease it out to Amazon or some fucking streaming source, some other streaming site. And just do that for the rest of my life. I don't fucking need Star Wars. That's pretty much where Favreau is. Like, I feel, you know, this is like opinion based, and I'm just off of reading body language and stuff. And you see him doing interviews, it's so funny. You can hear him being like, "Don't fucking ask me, don't fucking ask me, don't fucking ask me." You know what I mean? But so yeah, like, because Favreau just writes these, he wrote like a general synopsis for season 3, and then you have the fucking AI bots break down the synopsis into, oh, okay, you just type into the algorithm, like, here's the synopsis, here's the main players, here's where it needs to end out. Break that down into 8 episode story arc, and then fill in the rest. And that's why you have those first 3 episodes should have been 1 episode, 2 at the max. Like, it's poor writing You know what I mean? To have fucking like it's poor writing to have, excuse me, to have, what's my point here? Yeah, oh no, it's just poor writing. Poor writing to have Bo-Katan have to go and then come back, and then you're like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. You know, that's just like dog shit writing. Why wouldn't you just save the kid? You went past them with the ship, save the kid. You know what I mean? But take a break on that. But seriously, it's bad. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. You know, people don't want to assume. Well, guys is a fuck that. Guys is a non-binary nonsense bullshit. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care about any of that shit. But this is the problem I'm talking about. Like you can't really necessarily trust anything anymore. You can't take things at face value. You know what I mean? We're in a real hard state when it comes to our fandoms and stuff. And again, I don't want to like lead into the whole nonsense of gatekeeping and all that, but you don't want to. You can't just fucking trust these people that are handling these IPs anymore. You just can't, because you can no longer just give them face value. That's the word I'm looking for. The good faith. Sorry, you can no longer give them at face value good faith. You can't do that anymore. It's out the window. It's done. It's gone. You know, because at a certain point, you know, fool me once or whatever, but we're in this state of affair where we've given the mouse the cookie and the glass of milk and the place to sit and the place to kick up his feet and the fucking blanket. It's like, at what point do we stop giving the mouse what he wants? That's why you don't give a mouse a cookie. So you can't give these people a fucking an inch. You know, we got to stand up. And again, more power to you, real Tolkien Lord of the Rings fans. You guys are like, you're this fandom, that fandom. You know what I mean? Because I consider myself to be a part of that fandom. I read the books in high school and middle school. I read The Hobbit in middle school. I tried to start reading the books in middle school, but it was just, whoo, those are a read. So I finally got around to it in high school, and I finished them. That was fucking awesome. But yeah, like good job. Sorry, get back on point. Good job to you guys, because seriously, that fandom really fucking stood their ground. They were like, no, not here. No, not here. To the point where the fandom defended the work of this man more than his own family, his own fucking estate. We're like, no, yeah, you're right. It is antiquated. He was totally a white supremacist. Sure, right? Check, please. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, and then season 2 of Rings of Power, because you don't deserve that name. You don't deserve the name of Tolkien and the title of Lord of the Rings attached to that. It's a mockery. It's the world's most expensive fan fiction, and it's bad. Like it's bad. I rather have Tina Belcher do her fan fiction, okay, her erotic fan fiction, and fucking and do that instead. But all right, he's back.
Yeah,
But,
sorry about that.
yeah. No, you're good, man. But yeah, pretty much that was one of the topic points that I really wanted to hit. We were just kind of getting ourselves into this whole thought process and this
Trying to find
discussion. The rhythm, yeah, getting into the rhythm of why we're here and what we're trying to accomplish. Because ultimately, I just want to help keep the good word out that there are more of us. When I say us, I mean people that want good storytelling, quality craftsmanship, and a product. Because let's be real, it's a fucking product. We're giving money for this, but a product that we can fucking back, that we like, that at the very least, at the end of the day, has some foundation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Do you think the Patty Jenkins movie was going to be good? I know the Patty Jenkins one, the Star Wars movie, her stuff got canceled.
That's right. Oh, that's right. You know what I mean? Like there's more things announced and canceled from Disney Star Wars that are in production or completed at the moment. It's fucking wacky. You know what I mean? And like the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie, I feel like maybe at a point it had potential to grow legs, but Patty Jenkins also herself is also shown how she's a part of a narrative and she's stuck in this alt culture fucking representation, pretty much. Thank you. Shout out Gary to Nerdotics. Can't take the credit for that one. But no, seriously, like it's the representation. So I have like, I don't know how true these fucking rumors are, but just Rogue Squadron. Remember, you got to remember the before we head out, but the Lucasfilm. Remember the Lucasfilm story group when they had that bullshit video come out? Their all inclusiveness
about all their projects and stuff like that.
The infamous, yes. Lucasfilms. The Lucasfilm story.
It was from like 2-3 years ago, maybe 4, when they were all announcing like future projects. They were announcing the directors and stuff.
Yeah, and then they had that whiteboard, all inclusiveness, and here it is. Oh, come on.
Yeah, her shot was like on top of an aircraft carrier, no? Or in the desert. And she was talking about how she grew up in a military family. And she was so excited to do her project and her vision and things like that. And surprise, it didn't happen.
And why didn't it happen? And you find out because of this fucking bullshit. You know, they clearly have their agendas literally laid out for everyone to see, authentically lived in. It's already been doing that because it's a lived-in universe. Diversity, okay? They have it twice, dude. They have diversity written down twice. How much more diversity do you need, and how much more reminder do you need for it? It's wacky. And then this is what gets me. Where is it? Anti-war. It says it. No, there it is. Yeah, Star Wars. The first thing they wrote down, not pro-war. Oh, okay. So we're gonna change it to Star Wars then. That's what it was.
Peace.
It's Star Peace. No, it's Star Was, dude. That's what we're living in now. It's Star Was, because it's all about remember. Remember? Remember the Jawas? Remember Stormtroopers? I remember Stormtroopers. I remember the sound of a TIE Fighter. Oh, the sound of a TIE Fighter. It's fantastic. Remember? It's
Member berries.
Member berries. It's just fucking. That's all it is. Just shove it down your fucking throat, because that's what we're supposed to get now. And because of this fucking essentially call to arms. That's what it fucking is. I can't help but see it. But sweeping and epic, relatable characters, actual ending. What the fuck do you mean by that? What do you mean? What do you mean by actual ending? Fuck yourself. That goes to show you've never once read a Star Wars story at all. And I hate to break it to you, assholes, but Star Wars, it's a galaxy-wide story, but it's also a family soap opera. It's about the Skywalker legacy in this huge, already immersive, already all-inclusive, already extremely diverse fucking landscape. Okay? There's so much you could have explored. But no, we gotta fucking we're gonna bring in so much like Sabine. You're gonna bring in Sabine, and it's just crazy. I can't even, like, my head hurts sometimes thinking about this shit. The High Republic. What? When did that happen? I don't remember that happening. It's between the Old Republic and the Old Republic.
Empire. Okay. Right.
No, but it's between the Old Republic and the Old Republic. What? Yeah, that 1,000 years of peace where nothing happened. We're gonna make an entire series and subject and stories and games and movies, television, comic books about this entire 1,000 years of where nothing happens. Where nothing happens. The hyperspace wars? No, we're not going to touch on that. The Mandalorian Jedi Wars? What? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I have no idea. Lost Empire? Who the fuck are you? Get out of my face, nerd. You know what I mean?
And they won't do it because in episode 2, Mandalorian season 3, Bo-Katan mentions to Grogu how Mandalorian and Jedi worked together before.
Yeah.
That they were peaceful, whatever, that they had worked together before. So she brings that up to Grogu. So it's like, they're not gonna go a different route with it. It's gonna be
we're not gonna
happy, peaceful. And see, that's the thing about storytelling. It's like they want to give these stories of hope. I understand it, but not everything's always sunshine and rainbows. Give some despair.
It's World War II in space, bro. Just imagine World War II, but amongst like a millennia. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it fucking. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I can't take it anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's why Patty Jenkins' shit went down, because she said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be Rogue Squadron. Yeah, we're gonna stay truthful, but it's not gonna be about Wedge. It's gonna be about Wedge's daughter. Okay, it's gonna be about Wedge's daughter and Poe Dameron's mom and Harrison Dula and what other female names can we bring out that it's wacky. Like, I don't fucking know what to do anymore.
But see, what's crazy? What's crazy is, as kids, the movies that we would see, the 90s, the Disney's cartoons, they had female protagonists in them, but they weren't shoved down our throat. They had their own stories, their own struggles. but it wasn't like, look, she's a chick. You guys should watch it because it's a chick lead. You know, and we had Alice in Wonderland, Beauty and the Beast. We had Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, Aladdin. Like, granted, Aladdin was the lead, but then you had Princess Jasmine, and we had Princess and the Frog, which was one of the last like Disney cartoons and stuff like that. And but at that time, as kids, it wasn't like force fed to us. Oh my gosh, she's a chick, you should watch this movie. Where it was like, oh shit, look, it's a Disney movie. Like, the preview looks good, let's watch it. You would watch it, and even watching Mulan or Pocahontas, you're like, oh shit, it was a fucking nice movie. Like, it was a nice story to it, and whatever it may be in it. But you didn't walk out like, oh, that's not believable because it was a chick. It was like, oh, that was a cool movie, had a good story, and you know how where now it's more of a like, hey, look, she's a chick, you should watch it because she's a chick. Did I mention that she's a chick? You should watch it. And it's like,
you should watch it because otherwise you're a fucking bigot. You're a sexist. If you don't enjoy it, you do bad man. You're a very bad man. Very, very bad man.
and it's kind of like they
that's a Seinfeld reference, people. Don't fucking cancel us. I don't give a shit.
And sort of like lost their way. Because even Lion King, they had Nala. And you know what I mean? Where it's like now it's so you have to walk such a fine line where the product that you put out, it's like because you're trying.
And the same thing with that's why the MCU is where it's at right now. It's no longer about these heroes that built up everything. You know what I mean? It's not, and it's also the next what they've established now from everything that's been out. Okay, with Thor, Love and Thunder, dog shit. With fucking the Marvels that's coming out, dog shit. with
Thor, Love and Thunder,
She-Hulk,
I forgot that I watched until you brought it up right now, and it was the Guardian stuff was cool. After that, it was like this is.
But it's also everything's becoming just cameo of the week. Even the Guardians Christmas special doesn't it didn't really make sense. Like I'm like, why make this? You know what I mean? Like
that one's supposed to be your prequel story to Guardians 3.
But it's like you didn't need Kevin Bacon. You didn't need to have Drax and Mantis assault cops and a random guy in a GoBot costume. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, hey man, I like Transformers more than GoBots, but I'm not going to start going around hammering dudes in GoBot cosplay. So, and then I think from like from everything in Phase 4, right, and then now Ant-Man's Phase 5.
Right.
So from what happened in Phase 4, fuck, dude. Honestly, I think the only thing that I liked was the Werewolf by Night. That was me. Sorry.
No, I didn't see it. I've been burned out by MCU stuff. Like
it's because it's true, and it's not, and it's funny because people are like, because it's superhero fatigue. It's superhero fatigue. No, it's the mistrust fatigue. It's the constantly giving you good faith, blind hope, and you just like, oh, cool, thank you. You know, oh shit. Like, why would you do that? Well, because you let me. Because you let me. And that's why I keep bringing it back up, but that's why I respect the shit out of the Tolkien fans, because they were like, okay, Amazon, you're going to do a thing. You have all right, you don't have all the rights, but you have the appendices. There's a lot that happens in the appendices. You can do that. You can do something with that. Oh, you're not going to do it? And Amazon's like, yeah, we'll do it. We got it. And they went to spit, and the Tolkien fandom was like, whoa, you trying to spit back in my face? And then Amazon's eating the bullet on that. Eating the bullet on that. It's like they're just fucking taking it to the chin, dude. And they're over here thinking that they're fucking Rocky, being able to lead with the head. But nope, you ain't no fucking Rocky, dude. You're gonna get knocked out. You're gonna get knocked out because eventually and it's already happening. These fans are done with your shit. They're done. They're done with it. They're done with your shit.
That's
I haven't bought. Fuck, man. I think the first run of Jaime Reyes' shit after Final Crisis. Was it Final Crisis or Infinite Crisis?
I'm thinking New 52.
Yeah, that went into New 52. Those were the last comic books that I even gave a shit about. Like, or not even gave a shit, but just purchased. Because I'm like, nah, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out. Bye. You know?
I don't think one thing that has kept me interested is The Boys. I feel that's been a breath of fresh air. Season 1, 2, 3, and then they're filming 4 this year. Just The Boys, if you haven't checked it out.
Season 3's out?
It's been out, I believe. I think season 4 is what they're working on. I think they're filming that now. Yeah. Season 3's been out.
That's right. Season 3 is the one that ends with him lasering the dude's fucking head, and everyone's like, "Yeah!" Right?
That's season 2. When he has,
no, sorry. Season 3 is Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
you're right.
Season 2.
You're right.
He thinks that he has that vision of like, I should just laser him and not give a fuck. But then, yeah, Soldier Boy. But then I think he does that in season 3 actually, where he lasers a dude.
Yeah, because in season 2 he has the vision of killing the whole crowd. That's right. Season 2. Season 3 he actually fucking blasts that dude's head off that throws the can at Ryan. And I'm like, okay, you know, but here's my only issue with season 3, and which I like. Okay, I had my fun with it, but because I tried to give credit where credit is due, and at the time I understand why they were making all that social commentary, but yeah, dude, The Boys has pretty much become the TDS show, you know, like I'm sorry, but once you started writing Homelander to be Trump, it's kind of hard not to see it, especially when one of the fucking writers pretty much said it without saying it. I'm gonna be the best. I'm Homelander. Who the fuck's touching my fucking my little boy? I'll fucking laser your face off, you sons of bitches. It's just dumb. It's looking. I'm like, all right. And then I don't know. Since I get Prime Video for free, essentially, because I have to do Prime for my packaging and my shipping and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll watch it, and it's like, again, it's frustrating, but like, there's certain things on Prime that I really like. Jack Ryan, that's fucking good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, it's was it Jack Ryan or Jack Ryan, right? Am I thinking? Yeah, Jack Ryan, not Reacher. Reacher season 1 was good, but then that fucking asshole had to go out and show his stupid comments. This is my thing. So when I say this, it's like I have no problem with people. Again, we're doing this. This is what we're doing right now. You know, we're saying our opinions and our comments and everything. I clearly am showing that I'm not a part of the fucking left. You know what I mean? Because I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't believe in PC culture. I believe in freedom of speech. You know, you don't want to listen to it, you can go. that's the best thing, dude. Did you ever see that clip? It like just, I think like some YouTuber Archon, I forget his name. Sorry out there, but like, yeah, he made a video about there's this chick that steals a sign from like a guy, you know, doing one of those like change my mind kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on campus and he has a sign It's about fucking, offing younglings before they're younglings. You know what I mean? And how he's not against that. He's not for that. So he has that sign, and she goes and she steals the fucking sign, and then like a fucking idiot, like a schmomo, she walks right into the way of a cop. So then the dude's like recording, and he's like, "Officer, she stole my sign." And then the cop pretty much gets her to be like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I don't agree, so I took it and I just moved it, And he's like, "Yeah, but you just admitted to stealing." She's like, "No, I didn't steal it. I took it without asking, and I didn't let him take it back, and I just moved it over here, And he's like, "Yeah, that's called stealing. That's theft, And you not wanting to give it back, that's larceny, right?" So, oh, excuse me. So she fucking gets arrested. She gets arrested for stealing and damage of private property, And you could just see this chick like, what do you mean? Well, but why? This just proves my point. You're just protecting them, and he's like, "I'm not protecting them. I'm upholding the law." You see, there's a difference. That's the problem with you guys, okay, is that you don't think the law applies to you. So when it's okay for you to break it, but not for them. It's that whole rules for thee, but not for me nonsense. And I'm not for that, So freedom of speech, and yeah, everyone has opinions, cool. But here's my issue with actors and musicians and athletes. I hate to break it to you, dude, guy, chick, lady, whatever. You only have a job because we give you the money to do the job. Your job is to either throw the ball well, sing the music well, or write the fucking story. If you don't want to do that, then we're not going to give you the money anymore. And now you lose your job. Okay? Like that fucking cum bucket director of Blue Beetle. You know what I mean? Calling fucking Puerto Rico a slave state, and fucking fuck him. He's a piece of shit, dude. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh yeah, my job here is done." Yeah, your job is there. Your job at DC is done. Because I didn't see Blue Beetle in James Gunn's magnificent 10-year plan. Last time I checked, Blue Beetle's not a part of the fucking authority. Gay Batman, gay Superman, yeah, that's gonna sell. That's gonna. Good job, James Gunn. Good job. That's gonna be real good for you. Excuse me. But so that's why. Sorry, getting off topic. Getting back to my point with the whole thing with actors, it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Why are you speaking politics, or why are you speaking against your IP? You're a part of a project that you're trying to sell. You're trying to pitch this to people, and the people that you're trying to pitch it to have unanimously said, "We don't care about politics. We don't want your intersectional nonsense, right? Like we don't want this. Just do story good." Like we really are that simple. Do story good. Perfect example, Link, right? And from Legend of Zelda. Doesn't say a fucking word, really, when you think about it. That's one of the best stories I've ever fucking experienced also in my life. All right? Ocarina of Time, aside from that fucking bullshit water level, is great.
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. Sorry, Majora's Mask. That's right. That was Majora's Mask. But, yeah, no.
Next month, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up. That's what it is. That I gotta get. That's why I'm like, as much as I'm gonna do it, because why not? Because since we're doing this, we're gonna start this podcast and everything. I gotta be able to keep up with what you want to talk about. So yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Let's get into it. I gotta get a new system up and running so I can fucking do that shit. It's been a minute since I gamed. I think the last, like I was telling you last time, I don't remember we were talking about the last real game that I went balls to the walls hard in was Borderlands 2. And then I missed out on getting a new game system, but luckily my buddy at the wood shop, he had it, so he just lent. He's like, I don't fucking really game anymore. And I was like, oh really? And he's like, yeah, you can. He's like, I'm gonna give this to my nephew. You can borrow it so you can beat the game, and finish it.
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, for reals? Fuck, man, awesome. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, Borderlands 3 is not good. It's not good. I was like, oh,
no,
fuck you.
I think it's better than 2 in every single way.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
No, I think it's better than 2 in every single way.
3?
Story, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Just the fact that you can run and mantle, and that for me.
Oh, game mechanics. Yeah, okay, game mechanics, good. Story-wise, I was like, no, this doesn't work for me. Like,
the story
it was just because you can see it.
Needed work.
It needed work. Like, it could. I'm like,
but you know what it is, right? The writer from 2, Tiny Tina's brother, got canceled. He's the one that wrote 2, Tales of the Borderlands. He was the one that did the pre-sequel. So he was the one,
yeah.
So he was the one behind 2, pre-sequel, Tales of the Borderlands. Tiny Tina's brother. And then he got canceled. So he was not a writer. He was not a part of 3, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. He was not a part of the new Tales. He was not a part of that. So you see the difference.
You see it, yeah. Didn't he, like, not to interrupt, not really that I know much about it, but like, yeah, he was kind of one of the guys that fell into that whole Me Too shit, right? Where like, it's like he really didn't. Again, I don't really know much about it, but like, yeah, like for him, it was like false accusations, but they just let him go because it's better not to deal with it,
He was like one of the first people to get like canceled.
Yeah.
And so his personal life came to light, and then it became this huge deal, and so he was let go. So that's the big difference. He was the writer for 2, pre-sequel, and Tales of the Borderlands. Part 3, a new set of writers, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, by far the best Borderlands anything I've ever played. It just was, here's the game, fuck you guys, we'll see you on the next project.
Yeah, that's how it felt. I was like, whoa, hold on. Why? I felt like there was more that we could have done with this,
Yeah, so they were like, here's the game, fuck you guys, we'll see you a couple of years when we release the next project.
Yeah.
But 3, like the gameplay, I have a character on PS5, I have a character on Series X, both different characters, because what I do is I'll split them just to have different playthroughs.
Yeah.
My Siren on PS5, I literally can one-shot anything, just my build. On my Series X, I have a Flak, which I've been toying with the build over and over and over, and now it's like damage output's insane. But my Siren,
because Flak is the droid with the animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's cool. like I was like, oh, I like this one. I like this guy. But then there's another one too that I noticed, and again, one of the fucking developers even kind of alluded to it, that they purposely kind of nerfed the masculine characters because they wanted the because you know how the sirens are pretty much the main of the storyline for 3. It really brings all of that, was supposed to bring it into like a cohesive end that we like. But yeah, they pretty much mechanic wise they overpowered, I feel, the Siren characters to the point where like you said, one shot just poof, and like a bunch of fucking.
Well, the villain was a siren, the chick.
Yeah, I know, but again, my point again that there was like, oh, because the last villain was so good, Handsome Jack, that we're like we need to counter that so hard that now the villain's a siren, and it's because boss bitch, yes queen, yes queen, go fucking slay, and
but like once you play the story, you realize you see why they became that way. Because the dad was the original Vault Hunter, and he was raising them a certain way. They didn't want any part of it. They broke away from it. They left to do their own thing. And then that's where all this shit happens, this cult, whatever. But yeah, Borderlands 2, I can't play for the reason that Xbox 360, I got all of my achievements. PS4 base game, I got all my achievements. I tried to do it again on Xbox One when the Handsome Jack collection came out. Couldn't do it. And Borderlands 3 base game, got all my achievements. But it's just one of those games where 3 I can go back to anytime and keep playing. 2, because I've put so much time into it, I can't go back to it.
Which one?
2, because I've played it top to bottom, inside and out, left to right. I can't go back to it.
You're like, I can't. Even for nostalgia purposes, you're like, I can't. It's so bad. So not bad, but you're like, it's so. That's how I am with was it Arkham City. Like even for nostalgia, I was like, hey, I heard that they opened up the server again, like for its anniversary. And then I wanted to do it, but they were like, oh yeah, we're going to do like a speed run competition for the Riddler trophies. And I almost had a fucking PTSD attack. like I was like, oh no, I don't know, fucking, those things were some of them were just insane, like the anxiety inducing. And then you had Arkham Knight, which was just like, okay, hold on. The Riddler trophies were one thing. Explain to me when the hell did the Riddler be able to fucking get all those massive tracks made for the Batmobile? Like, no, that's wild and that's wacky. Like, I don't understand why you didn't have the Riddler work more in tandem with what do you name? What's his name? Scarecrow, or at the very least with Red Hood. You know what I mean? Like, it would have made way more sense versus just making him this like side plot character, because it would have been better to bring it in. I don't know. It was weird. That part was just, oh god. Because this whole time I'm like, yeah, we get to play as the Batmobile. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Oh my god, it's like fucking driving a brick, piloting a sloth. Like it's just fucking wow. That was hard. That was not fun. It was like, and it wasn't even like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into that one. but yeah, man. So, is there anything else you want to quickly touch on? I feel like
no, we did pretty good. Pretty good time.
Yeah, man.
3 hours.
I'm glad that we're finally being able to get one up, and be able to fucking upload this and start this bitch rolling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know next week we'll have a little bit more of a cohesive, bullet point. We'll stick to. We'll try to stick to the tracks a little bit better. But yeah. So that was our takes on that. Next week we'll see what current affairs stuff that we can be touching on, and then just go back into anything new that we like. And
it's gonna be about this.
what's that?
Wait. Fuck. You don't remember this? Huh?
Metroid, yeah.
Yeah, they remade it.
Yeah, should put that back up again. Nice. Yeah, Metroid Prime. That's gonna be good. Remastered. Fuck yeah. Nice. Yeah, I didn't know. Oh, when did they come out with that?
They shadow dropped it in February. Nintendo said, "Hey, remember this game? Remastered, available right now. You're welcome. Go crazy."
See what I mean? Like Nintendo. I guarantee this was so funny. I was telling my friend, I was like, this was so funny about Nintendo. Like, don't give a shit. They're just like, oh yeah, no, here you go.
Like,
you know, like,
hey, this game?
and then if you're not fast enough, like you're like, oh, hey here we all remember years ago you guys were asking for this. Here you go. And if you're not fast enough to appreciate it, they'll be like, oh, then fuck you, then we're gonna take it back.
Do you know the fucking Walmart delivery man? That's my second copy because that's my collection copy. I'm not gonna open it because I have a digital copy.
Yeah.
I bought a physical copy on Walmart. This motherfucker kept it. And to this day, Walmart hasn't refunded me. I emailed them. All I got with this email, oh, we're so sorry that happened to you. Cool. Am I going to get a refund?
You're going to get.
Didn't respond to me.
We're dealing with way too much net losses with all those shoplifting and all that store loss, you know. So, yeah, we don't have the money to give it to you. And I would say we'd ship you another game, but it's probably going to get stolen again. So, yeah, sorry, no.
I was like,
that's all we can tell you. Sorry.
I'm like, it's $40. It's not a big deal, but at the same time, it's just like, give me the game or a refund. Like, I'll take either. And you know, no, he didn't. He kept it. He said he dropped it off. It wasn't in my order. So the physical copies have been hard to get a hold of. So barely like a week ago, I bought it through Best Buy, and I was like, I hope it arrives. It arrived. To this day, though, Walmart was just like,
sorry. Yeah, same thing with the fucking. Let's see if I can. Oh my god. Yeah. Same thing with my fucking Lego Ep.1. This is the second one I had to purchase. Okay? Because the first one, they just like, it was shipped. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Oh, it's here in the store. It's here in the warehouse. We'll send it off to you. All right, cool. Oh no, it's lost. We actually don't have it. It wasn't yours. I was like, what the fuck? Can I just have my Lego, please? Like, you know, I'm like, if I knew it was gonna be this big of a bitch, I would have just bought it in the store.
Same with this one.
Nice.
This one's just for collection, so I won't open it because a lot of what people don't know, anything Pokemon goes up in value immediately. So it's still sealed. And then I'm getting the Zelda one. The Zelda one's supposed to be out this month. Yeah, it's April. Fuck, this month. Wait, this box better than that. Okay. Yeah, since the new Zelda game comes out next month, but they're releasing a special edition Nintendo Switch, which comes out this month. And when the pre-orders went up, I was in class and the teacher was talking, and I was like, yeah, hold on, I'm doing something. She's like, what's so important? And I was like, it's important. Like, hold on. And then she sees me taking out my wallet. She's like, what are you doing? and I was like, I'm on my phone. I was like, oh, and then after, I was like, oh, this is what I was doing, and I showed her my pre-order. She was like, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, well, that's your fault.
Wow. Yeah, well, there you go, man. That's just priorities, right?
Yeah, so this month I'm picking the Legend of Zelda one up, which is going to be for collection also. And I want to build shelves at the top and just like display them.
Yeah, just make it. Like I said, fucking give me the dimensions, man, and I'll whip that. I'll crack those shelves out.
Yeah, because you see back there, I have space at the top, and then
Yeah.
on the side right here, up top.
Yeah, I gotta, because like you said, for the since we're fucking gonna do it, fuck the Iron Age, all that shit. We're gonna get into it. Yeah, I gotta move all this stuff because this is some like
Just leave it.
like craft shit. Like I got spray paint, this like all that because back before, like just a couple months ago, all this was like where I was keeping my tools. But I guess I'm gonna move all that. I'm gonna put up all my Batman shit, my good Star Wars stuff, and my Legos. Hopefully, I can finish. See this shelf right here.
Yeah, I would display these.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I need to display these.
Keep it in there. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
There you go. Fuck yeah. Nice.
Shit.
He's down. Yeah.
But everyone that fucking crying bitch still doesn't shut up.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's funny because and hopefully this right here is I'm making a bat cave. So I just literally got all my bat cave, all my Lego Batman stuff. This is one thing though I'm actually genuinely proud of. Is that because some stuff is just you can't fucking find it on eBay and it's not worth getting it back. So I fucking was all bummed out one night and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna make my own Batwing.
I have a spare Lego parts.
Yeah, this is just. Well, I did manage to sneak in some official, like you have the wing here, right here, and I think I have another. I think these parts right here are from old fucking Batman Lego set from like the +4 sets, because sometimes I go to these like Lego shops to get like the bargain bin stuff. And they'll just sell you like, oh yeah, it's just a little bit of everything. I'll manage to get some stuff, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really proud of my Batwing.
It looks the shit.
Because it's like I was inspired. It's like a little mixture of the Tim Burton, But I was also inspired by the Nolan, tactical urban aspect of
the crab
of the of the fucking, what does he call it? Their bat pod, their bat wing, the wing, but it looks like a fucking crab. But I got inspired by that. This is my little mock-up, my little Batwing mock-up. And then I'm working on a custom Batmobile, but then I'm also gonna buy, because I have a couple. I think I have most of the Batmobiles. The one that I'm really trying to save up right now is the minifig scale of the Adam West. Jesus, I think one of my dogs is for the minifig scale Adam West anniversary Batmobile. I need that one, so I'm like at a bidding war right now. And then I've just been buying spare bricks and stuff here and there because I already have like a layout design of it. I'm gonna make a video on that too, because that'll be like another little fun thing. We'll probably make this little video showing off our shit, being like, "Hey, see, this is good fandom. This is what happens when you get a good fandom. We're gonna promote your shit," bad fandom, I'm gonna drag it through the fucking mud. If you piss me off, I'm gonna do it. I don't give a fuck anymore. But yeah, so then I'm gonna revamp a lot of this stuff. I need to get less directional lighting, you know. So it's a nice little work in progress. But like they say, progress not perfection, you know, because there's no such thing. Perfection is unattainable, people. We just got to strive for it. But if you think you're gonna get there, it's the come on, you almost caught me. You almost got me. Come
chasing
on,
the dragon.
This man said chasing the dragon. Yeah, you're just chasing the dragon. Oh, you almost got me. Oh, you almost got me. But all right, man. I think that's a good spot to end it on today for our first one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, it's been fun. It's always been good. This is what we're gonna be doing here, pretty much from now on. Growth here and there. We'll hopefully tighten in some reins, but kind of this is like relatively the length of what I want these shows to be at. You know what I mean? We'll have more short form stuff throughout the week and be a little bit more palatable for some people. But yeah. So Nate, let everybody know where they can find any channels you have and stuff.
You can find me on YouTube _NM87_, or you can find me on my socials _ your mom's house. I'm just playing. I don't really use socials, but
I think that's taken by Bert Kreschner and fucking.
No, it would be what's his name?
It's
guy and a girl.
Yeah, it's your mom's house studio. Oh my god, can't remember his fucking name. It's Bert's boy, man.
No, Anthony. No, Tony. Isn't it Tony? Anthony.
No.
Yeah, his name is in Spanish because the mom's.
Yeah. It's shit.
Tom Segura.
Thank you, Tom Segura. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. your mom's house. That's Tom Segura's thing. But
you can find me under your mom's bed. Those are my socials. I'm playing. They're not my socials. Don't look that up. I'm not responsible for what you find on the net.
Yeah. Do you tweet? Do you stream on Twitch?
Do I have a? Hold on. Let me see if if it's still active. What is it? Twitch. Oh, Twitch.tv.
Man. Fucking years ago. I got kicked off of Twitch years ago.
Really?
Oh yeah. And back when I had it under Rebel Scum. I had a Twitch channel for about 2 months.
Oh yeah, my Twitch name is just lowercase n lowercase m 87. But yeah, I want to get back to doing all that stuff. Now that my job has shifted, I'll have more time. Won't fucking come home, knock out, and not know what day it is.
All right. Be able to do that. But nice, man. Yep. So there you go. And then I'm Will.O on all platforms and social medias. You can either call me Will.O or they call me Will.O. That's Will, the letter O, not Will.O, the little guy that they totally did dirty in Disney Plus. So yeah, man, this was fun. Loved it. And we'll see you guys next week here on the Planet Will.O. And yeah, man, you see you around, and I'll talk to you during the week and shit, so we can get this big boy rolling. All right, man.
Mm-hmm.
Later.
All right, deuces.
All right, and that's been a goodbye and howdy to you. I'll see you guys next week.